My name is Alistair, and I shall be your keeper of arcane lore for the eve. We commence the night session with really with a rather panicked flurry of reveals. Them being the consecutive reveal of a madman come serial killer come seemingly from his perspective righteous avenger stalking the streets of Paris and seemingly killing in what he assumed to be a targeted fashion, followed by the reveal of his private chambers, a wide collection of assortedly hideous and bizarre artifacts. And then the subsequent reveal that A, not only is humanity not alone, but B, it shares its celestial space with rather strange and inherently violent custodians, possessed of large metallic frames and rubbery squidnicks. The group then, the group then split in twain, with the members of old surging into the chambers of the Great Council of Yith, the great library of Alex Yithria, and the newer motley crew remaining behind to guard the portal. And so, yes, we wrap up with the yeah. So we wrapped up last time with the reveal of The King in Yellow, as translated from the original French by Oscar Wilde, and we open with that same reveal, as as it would be Void, as Void's gnarled, calloused hands flip aside the text, flip open the cover.
So I start looking at what is actually contained, I guess, within this book. What is there a format? Is there like an index? Is there anything written forward or at the back of the book that I might be able to read? I think some of it was in English, you mentioned, because it was
Mm-hmm.
a translation.
Yeah. So sorry, what are you looking for specifically?
So, okay, I guess I'll start at the beginning. Is there like a forward to the book or anything that Oscar Wilde had
Uh,
written previous to the translation?
hmm. Well, given the unusual assortment of said book, give me a library use roll. The first thing you pick up, even without the aid of a roll, is that this book is incredibly badly organized. Like it is where you would expect there to be a foreword, there is instead a misaligned passage that is, according to the footnotes, meant to be inserted halfway through. So I'm basically asking for one to. Ooh, success. Yeah. Um, Working around the basis that this is a book organized on the matter of time of construction and order of construction rather than traditional book layout, you work your way to the back and you find what appears to be a quite dense handwritten passage with the with the title at the top reading "On the Craft."
Okay, so I want to close the book a moment and I want to look at Humphrey. How does Humphrey look at this moment? Does he have that weird
I
gleam
mean,
in his eye that he might be a little crazed at the moment?
Is he still smoldering from the
I mean
explosions of
the first thing
flamethrowers?
before I let Stephen talk, the first thing you see about Humphrey is that he is burnt and beat up as all hell. I mean,
Yes.
you understand why, having just been through a
Yes.
similar experience.
Yeah, correct.
But that
Yeah, I
would
was
be
gonna
up
say
to
actually, my
Stephen to
sanity's
decide.
my sanity's not as bad as my health. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
Humphrey at this point is more barely coherent or barely awake. Like he's pretty badly burnt and beat up, and so from his injuries, he's there, like he's awake, but he's not able to really like focus on any point for too long.
So, other than being burnt and beat up and maybe a little scarred, you're pretty much acting like yourself under normal circumstances.
I would say, yeah. I'd say, yeah.
Okay.
He's, albeit a little bit quiet because there's so much pain.
All right. So I open the book back up, and Void wants to start reading that particular passage.
All right.
He reads it out loud, mind you.
Okay. You read out loud the passage beginning, concerning the matter and elements of such an unusual and undefined construction. And obviously, I have not written the entirety of the in-depth Oscar Wilde analysis of The King in Yellow and his making of it, because I'm afraid I have a life outside of this game. I'm sorry to break it to you.
Understandable.
Breaking our heart here, Alistair.
But you I mean, are you trying to gain anything from it per se, or are you just reading it to see what's there?
So these are Oscar Wilde's words apart from The King in Yellow, right? So it seems like it could potentially be important. If not, I mean, we can just say I read it.
I mean, if you're defining it as being important in relation to The King in Yellow and his translation of it, it's pretty much invaluable.
Okay.
That's it then, isn't it? This is what we're looking for, or at least something a part of it.
Well, the Oscar, the Wilde files disappeared. I'm not sure. Can we assume that this was part of the Wilde files? Something that was missing, something that was taken and
I mean,
put in the library, or was this not part of the files?
I mean, Tadworth had specifically referenced a forgotten play. If Olivia were here, she would have a good deal of unique insight. However, is Humphrey cognizant enough to make me a history check, do you think?
Yeah, I was 2 health points. Yeah, I think he's still there. Like if somebody asked him a question or showed him the book, I think he would be able to focus. Yeah.
Void, do you raise? I mean, you're speaking it aloud, so I'll be nice. I'll say that raises it to your attention.
Okay.
You can give me. Yeah, there we are. So, you recall Tadworth saying to you that as an amateur thespian, he was very interested in Marlowe's abandoned play, that it was rumored through his sort of very like patchy network that like this is operating right at the fringes of whatever nebulous information network Tadworth operates. It was rumored that Wilde had been working on developing a new translation of the play Christopher Marlowe had once tried to translate. Rooting around in your, albeit a bit scattered, historical memory, you recall that Christopher Marlowe died by being stabbed through the eye, and that was reportedly done as a result of his interfering in a rumored play that was said to have been of French origin and have involved royalty of some description.
Yeah, so I will sort of saunter up and say, I think this is what we've been looking for. Blood dripping and burned skin.
Mortimer drinks heavily from his flask. Wipes his face. Well, the only thing we had to do was find another portal to another dimension for it.
Well, that's interesting. When I entered in the portal, the Yith that were in there were talking, and they mentioned that the book had just become available. The Yith?
That thing? He says, pointing to the dripping sack.
Yeah. And they went to go to look at it. I would have come back, but I didn't necessarily want them to get away. I wanted them to lead me to the book, so I followed them, and it was there. It almost felt like it wanted to be found. Maybe either we're being led there, or it wanted us to have the book. The timing seemed very coincidental, if you understand.
I'm starting to think that nothing is ever coincidental because we've been running into a lot of coincidences. I would like, yeah.
Are you familiar with the King in Yellow, Humphrey?
I don't know.
With
Yeah.
with that earlier history check, yeah, you may know more about it kind of deep down at the moment. You really you remember that it is a play that is very often discussed in occult circles. It's the reason that Christopher Marlowe was assassinated, as I've said. It's kind of come to be regarded as, let's put it this way, if the people who create the superstition around the Scottish play are the first layer of acting paranoia, the King in Yellow is like the 9th tier of acting paranoia.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's probably actually spiritual in its, or occult in its make.
Yeah.
So
I'll definitely refer, and say that it's basically this occult play that might even be cursed, depending on who you ask.
Every performance that has been, you also remember that every performance that's at least been publicized to have been put on has ended either with A, the audience going mad, B, the cast killing themselves after the first night, or C, the cast and the theatre disappearing.
can I have something cleared up for my benefit, out of character? I just want to make sure that I understand. So I thought The King in Yellow was a series of short stories that were compiled into a book called The King in Yellow.
You're right. You're not wrong.
But the book was about the play, The King in Yellow.
The King in Yellow.
So does this king, the King in Yellow display, does it actually exist, or is it just referenced in literary literature?
It's about as real as the Necronomicon is.
Yes,
Okay.
that's a great,
Yeah.
that's
So,
exactly,
like,
it's exactly the
later
same.
people would decide, you know what, we'll make something.
Yeah,
of it.
yeah. But
I think later on somebody did write, like, or compiled all the bits that had been written and stuff, but no, it wasn't a play before that. Like, before the stories.
I mean, yes, and the thing is, because this is in effect an alternate history and the mythos is said to have existed throughout the entirety of humankind, there are a lot of historical events that supposedly had the mythos interfere with them. Like, I think the Delta Green setting gets into that a lot more.
Okay. I was under the misconception that we found the book of short stories about the King in Yellow. Okay, thank you for clearing that
We
up.
found the actual play.
This is clearly a play script. You know, it's annotated and it has actors' directions, and hence why Wilde was so intrigued by it.
Could I mean, we've kind of discussed this, but Humphrey would know that this is roughly priceless, right? Or at very least, very high price.
This is the thing, because you
excuse me.
You can guess that as a base level. If you want to get a more accurate idea, I am going to have to ask for like a hard appraise roll.
Okay.
Just because of the nature of its uniqueness and specificity. Mortimer,
it is my job. It is my job.
Yeah, that is true. Mortimer, you don't have any idea. Humphrey, this is the kind of thing that you absolutely could not sell publicly. If you brought this to Sotheby's, you would either be arrested or killed. However, if you were to sell it privately into the hands of collectors who specialize in the occult, you've particularly heard of an up-and-coming gentleman called Aleister Crowley, whose politics are a bit troubling, but who pays very richly for these kinds of things. You could easily sell it for like in excess of $1 million, $1.5 million, maybe approaching 2 million if you get them to bid against each other.
So it's fair to equate it with something like a stolen painting or something like that. Okay.
This is missing Van Gogh levels of wealth.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Then Humphrey will say, I think due to what this is worth and how it would have to be sold, I think we should get this out of our possession as quickly as possible. And also based on what just happened to us.
Well, wait, how much are we talking?
Does anybody? Can we use that inflation calculator really quickly? How much are we talking in 1920s money?
Sure. Hang on. Currency converter. I'm trying to. Oh yeah, historical.
Humphrey is actively doing math in his head, so he's just sort of sitting there like counting on his fingers, like, all right, if you hold the 6.
Yeah, no, it's $1 million is 1,000. I'm not going crazy. I'm very bad at maths.
Oh, so am I. Don't worry. That's why I asked for a calculator.
1 million. Yeah, let's say $2 million in currency of dollar in year 2010. Oh, yeah, it keeps saying that data cannot be analyzed, which is very annoying. Maybe it's because I'm putting bullet points in. I don't know. $2 million in year 22 could buy. Okay, that's too many decimal points for me.
Nobody had that much money back then.
2,561,000. No, that 25,617,589.
Okay, so yeah, so I'd say I'd say
25 million.
Yeah, 25. So I'd say like somewhere between 20 and 30 million for that. Only on the black market.
Whatever is left of the whiskey, like.
The book wanted to be found by us, and you want to give it away? Are you sure that's wise?
I can tell you that. Well, first, that's our payload, so we need to get that to Tadsworth because that's our job, and that's what we need to do.
Mr. Void, I want to. Yeah, I'm sorry. Let you finish first.
Oh yeah, anything that's worth $20 to $30 million on the black market is going to have people coming after it real fast. And so, if we're carrying that on us, I give us a week or two tops.
Mr. Void, I don't know, but you don't seem to grasp the gravity of this situation. The two of you just went through a flipping portal into another dimension to fight 20-foot-tall tapeworms, the likes of which we have a head oozing in the sack over there. Our good Mr. Humphrey here is leaning up against the wall, smoldering. I just shot a fish, man. We're in a serial killer's house holding a $30 million book that curses people. We need to get rid of some of these things. We need a little bit of a return to normalcy here.
I don't think we should be too hasty.
I would like to get back to Tadworth and finish our mission.
Another thought that does cross your mind is that you'd like to get to a hospital, but yes.
Yes, very much so. Yeah, that's the other thing. Is Humphrey is like, could we also please have this conversation at the hospital?
So let's have this conversation. But we are not carrying around a giant alien. We are not carrying around a giant alien head in a sack, and we're not carrying around this book for long. Like, somehow or another, we need to get rid of both of these things, and I think we should make a tidy sum off of it.
Yeah, Humphrey has definitely filed away Aleister Crowley, and will possibly, as a person, to possibly buy some of the things that I found.
I think. Oh.
I think that it is to be expected that once we leave here, when we come back, none of this stuff is gonna be here, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think I agree. Uh, so if we need
I
to
take
take
this
anything
stone then?
else, if we need to take anything else, let's take it now. But
All right.
I need to go. Yeah.
Sure, let me
Do
grab this here gear stone.
do
You want to grab
you
this statue portal thing?
Now, there were a lot of things in that room. There was stuff that was stolen from the people that were abducted, and there was
Hmm.
stuff with ruins on it within that room. There's a lot of stuff, as
Yeah.
I remember, correct?
The kind of mundane, everyday possessions, which include like wallets, guns, clothing, are all in his bedroom. Uh,
Which
the
is where I imagine we're standing right now.
No, you're. If you remember, you technically haven't like left the portal room. You're still in the place with the wraparound map.
Oh, I thought that was in like his bedroom closet or something.
No, no, that was connected to the originally locked door that you opened.
Yeah, so
Um,
there's the bedroom, there was that laboratory that we unlocked, and then we went into the secret room behind the case, I believe, and that's
hmm,
where we are now. So there's three
Right.
places.
yeah.
How
This
far's the car?
the car.
The car. Yeah.
Parked it I think we parked it. I think I remember it being like a 5-minute walk was what it was.
hmm,
Vaguely. But it was 2 weeks
hmm.
ago, so that my memory is straining a little.
Oh, in relation to where you are now,
Yes.
currently you're down in the 13th, kind of down this side. As I've said before, everything prior has been based in the 20th, so you can see the Arc de Triomphe there. I think that's the Arc de Triomphe. It might not be. My geography is very bad. No, there's the Arc, all the way on the other side of Paris. You were like Tadsworth's house was around about here. The car is on a garage a few streets over, so it's more over here. So
Isn't the arch over here?
yeah, that is the Arc. That's what I'm. You're very far away from the Arc. I made a mistake.
Alright. Does one of us want to go get the car and pull it over so we can just load all the things into it? That way we're not carrying out
That is a
Uh,
very
this,
good
that, and the
idea.
other thing past all the
I
goons.
will say it's late at night. There were people watching you outside, and it will be quite a long walk.
Do you trust me?
What do you mean by that statement? Because
Yeah, before you let's hear the plan first and then we'll talk about the trusting.
So, Alistair, in the second room, we're talking about all the stuff that's in the second room, right? That was
Yeah,
leading into there. All
yeah.
right. So, what Void does is he unhandcuffs the bag, probably from Humphrey. Like beckon. No, we put it on Olivia because Olivia was
I
the
did,
only
yeah.
one who could shoot one-handed with a gun. So go over to Olivia,
Mm.
get the
I'm sure
bag
she
from
doesn't.
her.
Before she takes it off, I bet she would probably wonder what Void's trying to do too.
Yeah.
Well, do you trust me?
No, Void, you worry me, to be honest. You are someone who seems very unfazed, and that's partly troubling. What is your intention here?
The bag has certain qualities to it that might assist us being sneaky.
And
You want to hide inside the bag.
No, of course not.
Void, if he tries to take he doesn't do it very aggressively or anything like that, but he tries to take the bag from Olivia and unhandcuffs her. Unless she pulls away or something like that, he'll take the bag.
I mean, I don't know what Gab would do. For the sake of an easy life, I'll say she's very suspicious, but it's yeah, she hands it over regardless.
Okay. So I open the bag and I think of the portrait of a lady,
Okay.
and I go over to the shelves, and once the story starts up, I start swiping everything into the bag.
Okay. um.
What are you swiping?
Get. Yeah. What are you swiping actually?
Anything that's on the shelves, any books, there's a lot of books as I remember. Anything with ruins on it, I basically want to just grab everything from here.
Okay. The books. That's fine. You swipe that in. If you kind of catch your eye, if you kind of look down into the bag occasionally, you will see that the occupants of the story are getting very annoyed that new books are flying off their shelves and hitting them in the face.
That's fine.
Um,
It'll only make the story better. Nothing can
anything,
make this
anything.
story worse.
So for a bit of a reference, Baker, Portrait of a Lady was a story I included in the game because Void wanted to know the most boring story conceivable, and I told him. Then in real life, Drake went out and bought the Portrait of a Lady
Well,
and began reading.
I didn't buy it. I just got it from
Okay.
Livervox, mind you. So
Oh,
I did
good.
read it.
Okay. God. I mean, yeah, it's good lord.
Yeah,
But
it's
yes,
bad.
it's really bad. A problem does occur when you try and swipe one of the like communication urn dioceses in.
Okay, we'll leave those
So,
out then.
I mean,
If
I
stuff
mean,
doesn't if
Well,
it
what's
doesn't
the
want to
issue?
go in.
no, hang on. When I say a problem, I mean, can you make me a power roll as you attempt to do it?
Okay.
Oh, all right. You shove it down and in. As you do, you hear a scream emanate from the bag, and actually, Mortimer and Humphrey will hear this kind of piercing, loud scream from one of the young women of whom the story entails. Uh, and as you look inside, you see her clutching the urn, kind of begin staggering around and smashing the various pieces of furniture with it. As her
God's dang, are you doing, Void?
as her father stares blankly into space. Yeah.
Oh, her father? Or I don't remember her father being part of the story. It was like her uncle and
Oh yes,
her
sorry, her uncle. Yeah.
yeah.
I've tried to forget. Okay.
All right. Well, I'm not going to put the other urn in. I'm not going to put his journal in or those things that
Why not?
things that we've already discovered. It's this lesser kind of trinkety stuff or other things that I'm going to be swiping in.
Mhm.
And you know what? I'm fine with her going crazed.
Oh, all right. Um, yeah, she does. It's your fault for being boring. Um, yeah. So, so yeah, what you continue swiping stuff in.
Yes. The
This I will say, looking down, you do begin seeing like the father begin attempting to like stamp on and tear out some pages of some of the books that you've flung in.
okay. So when I see that, this is what I'm going to try. I'm going to
Okay.
close the bag and then
Hmm.
open the bag again and see if the books are restored the same way that I had put them in.
You open the bag again. When you do, I'm going to need you to make me a sanity roll.
Oh boy.
You've rewritten the book.
You lose a point of sanity
Oh,
as
8. That's a
no
lot.
a
A.
point of
Oh,
sanity.
Single.
okay.
A single point.
Okay.
As you look down and see a what is kind of a, and you are thinking of, you're still thinking of the same story, right?
Yeah, Portrait of a Lady.
Okay. Yeah. As you open it, you see that where once there was a pastoral opening scene, I forget exactly how Portrait of a Lady opens. I think it's just like them
It-
talking.
Yeah, it's them talking there. It seemed
Yeah.
very picnicky or something.
Oh
They're
yes,
like
yes.
yeah.
So instead of said picnicky scene, you see a horrid flat stone diaspora as a thin one veil, almost of moonlight, cover pierces down, and various entities of distinctly Yithian outline begin moving around the people you recognize as figures from the book. And you see that they have a wide variety of proboscis and horrid surgical implements sticking out of them, opening up various arteries, limbs, appendages. They are either dead or in various states of suspended agony and animation.
The characters from the book.
Yes, from the book.
Still, I don't care that much. Okay, yeah.
The,
So Void.
more importantly, the reference material is nowhere to be seen.
Oh, dang. Okay. So Void closes the bag. Well, that didn't work.
What happened?
It summoned the Yith into the story. Oh.
Yeah, it had
They're not
summoned
gonna
the Yith into the story, it appears.
They're gonna come climbing out of the bag now?
I didn't see that. They seem more interested in the characters of the story than.
You did notice one thing, that the perspective of the bag was kind of bobbing and moving in a way that indicates like you were viewing it from the perspective of one of said creatures. The view looked down at one point and you saw that you had like stubby little proboscis hands.
Oh, that is interesting.
Hmm.
Oh, you know what? That might be very, very useful. To have the perspective of one of the Yith and follow it and see what it does. So,
Guys, we can see through one of the Yith's eyes now. We can
In
make it
his desire to go to the hospital, Humphrey just gives him a thumbs up. Leaning against the wall, like one eye open, he just thumbs up. I don't know what that is, but awesome.
Hmm.
okay,
Can we go to the hospital?
I will say, Humphrey, if I remember correctly, when you were inside, you rolled a luck roll for like things that would vanish, unfortunately, as you were like fleeing and running away. Because of a little atmospheric incident, why don't you roll me another luck roll?
Okay.
It's just a little. It's something I forgot about last session, but it is relevant. I'm not sure if it would be relevant to Void. It's unfortunate. Yeah. Kind of thumbing over your hand as you lean up against the pillar, you realize that your wedding ring is gone.
Oh no. Oh, Humphrey just sort of sits down and just sort of like just goes into like a little bit of like a breakdown mode. He's not like freaking out or anything. He just keeps like looking at his ring or where his ring used to be and just kind of stares at it.
What's wrong?
Yeah, you come over here. You're just trying to make a little money. You're just trying to provide for your family, and you end up in another world, and you end up almost dying, and you lose your wedding ring. And this is not what I wanted to do. This isn't what I wanted to do. I wanted to sell books, and look where we are now. Yep, this is awesome.
Yeah,
You're married?
this adventure wasn't what
I
I was expecting.
I was. She died. That was all. That was all that was left, other than, the gravestone, and it's gone now. So yeah, this is a new low.
How did you lose it? I mean, you weren't taking it off in the dimension, were you?
If you want to remember, you can give me an int roll.
Okay. Do I want to remember?
Do you want to remember?
Well, he doesn't
No.
remember. So I don't know. It must have fallen off. I was running pretty fast. There was lighter fluid. There were creatures that don't exist on this earth. So, your guess is probably as good as mine as to where it went or what
All
happened
right,
to it.
let's get you to the hospital then, bud. And we can bring all the rest of these things with us and do God knows what. Void, why don't you give that bag back?
Maybe
to
you can find my ring in the bag. Maybe it's in there.
maybe.
Well,
Should I
we
go?
still
Are we gonna
have
get the
a
car? Or
few-
are we going to start walking, guys?
Actually, on that perspective, Humphrey, this will be interesting. Give me a power roll.
Not my strong suit. Oh, okay.
You are seized by a sudden desire to grab hold of the bag and look for your ring in it.
Yeah. So I'll just try and grab the bag and be like, "Is my ring in there?"
Well, okay, so Void knows how unstable Klein can be, and he just knows what he witnessed, and it was a little bit disconcerting. He wants to keep the bag necessarily away from him.
Wait, what? What are you doing? What do you want?
Is my I want to see if my ring's in the bag. Maybe it's in the bag. It's all connected, so that makes sense.
Would it be okay if I look for your ring?
Well, okay. Would it be okay if we look together?
Well, here's my concern. The last time I opened the bag, it was a little bit disconcerting to me. And I don't
You
want
laughed.
you to risk the same thing.
I've
What do you-
I've had
what
a
do you mean by
pretty disconcerting day. I think I can handle it.
All right. It's
What do you mean
your
by
choice.
disconcerting? You were laughing the whole time.
Which story did you want to look into?
Oh.
What just happened?
No, it was Baker just went out.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
You
What story would I like to look into?
You're just seized by the desire to look for your ring.
I guess I would. Well, I'm gonna try and just think of my ring then. That's what I'll say to. I'm just gonna try and think of my ring, not a story.
All right.
We haven't tried that yet. Yeah, we haven't tried that one yet.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I'm gonna just.
Void is gonna keep holding the bag, and he's gonna open it for Humphrey.
Okay.
And I'm not gonna think of a story, just the ring.
Okay. You open it up. You look inside. You see that kind of attached to a black metal pillar, one that you distinctly passed whilst running to escape the library. There is a small little silver ring. I mean, I assume your ring was made of silver. If you want, you can correct me.
Sure. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. It is your wedding ring. The camera just
Yeah.
pans
D-
in on it.
Does everyone?
Yeah. Well, the
see
silver
this,
seems totally
or-
fine. Silver seems totally fine.
Does everyone see this, or is it just Stephen?
I mean, you see it alongside Stephen, actually.
Humphrey. Let's use Humphrey. That'll be easier for me.
Yes.
Well, what we can do is we can give it a little bit of time and go back after your ring.
Could I just stick my hand in?
Um.
Well, okay. Humphrey's gonna try.
Yeah,
Let's just
yeah,
rephrase
give
that.
me-
Humphrey
Whoa,
tries
whoa.
to just put his hand in.
Give me a
What-
power roll.
When I see him reaching for the bag, can I close it?
It might not even matter.
'Cause Void was holding
Um,
on to it.
As you fail your power roll, you don't do this delicately at all. Yeah, your hand is just thrust immediately in, and you feel instinctively the hard smack of the metal pillar. Void, you can't close the bag if you wanted to now without like severing Humphrey's arm.
Okay,
as it's
I was
firmly
hoping to
in-
close it before he started actually going in,
Uh,
but
Unfortunately, just because of the nature, it's literally like a vacuum that shunts his arm in really quickly.
Okay.
You'd need like an extreme dexterity roll, but you can still try.
well, we'll see. Because that seems like a
Okay.
no.
That's distinctly not an extreme, my friend. Yeah, you just watch as his arm is thrust inside. Humphrey, you feel your wedding ring there. But quite troublingly, you also feel what seem to be like 4 or 5 other distinct wedding ring shaped protrusions. You can look in if you want.
Grab them all to be safe. Don't bother looking.
That's what I was just. I was thinking Humphrey would probably just try and grab them all and then pull his hand out.
Okay. You grab them all, pull them out. Midway, pulling them back, and again, as you pull back, a similar kind of vacuum suction thing kind of occurs. In the brief millisecond as your hand leaves before Void slams the bag shut again, you hear the distinct and familiar of the Yith. Mortimer, you have not heard this before. I'm going to need you to make me a sanity roll. Mortimer? Oh,
Oh, damn!
yeah, you're fine. It's just weird.
What?
As you pull your hand up and away, you note that your wedding ring is now on your index finger, not on your ring finger, but it's back. Something else has come with you, which appears to be like a 4-mouthed miniature creature, which appeared to have like created its mouths in such a way that they reminded you of your wedding ring. It's attached to your fingers, it's sucking on them, and you can feel kind of like if a tourniquet had been tied around them, you can begin feeling blood circulation diminishing. So
I can't with you people anymore.
I'm starting to feel the same way. What did I bring out of the bag?
it is like a small nebulous puddle of oil, but formed into a like globe shape with 4 central like sucking proboscis.
Is there
Oh.
like a,
No
a
eyes or
bat
facial
or a
features.
lever or something I can use to swat it off of his hand?
You've got a tire iron on you, I'd imagine, or something.
Void
I'd have
has
a
a
nice
knife
pen.
on him,
Ah.
and he can
I
try
have
and
my own
cut
knife, but
them
I'd
off.
rather not stab his hand.
Yeah, maybe you want to veer away from the sharpness.
Yeah, I was gonna say Humphrey will immediately just scream and like throw it.
Yeah. Oh, if you
Onto the
attempt
ground.
if you attempt to throw it, it actually does like. Give me a strength roll, and unless you fail this really badly, you'll be able to get it off. But there's what I'm saying is there's still.
Oh God.
You can't get it off.
Ah.
Can Void
yeah.
help try
Void,
to pull
grab it.
off?
Yeah, Void can grab it and pull it off should he desire. When you touch it, it feels like really slicked and oily, and like if your car had backfired.
Well, gotta get it off of him.
Gotta get it off. Give me a strength roll. Oh, you grab it and pull it off, and as you do so, you actually pull the back half off rather than the front half. So yeah, you just
It comes in half.
Yeah, it just kind of tears neatly in half, like two sections of a ceramic bowl, and you have a neat little bowl of alien organs. And Humphrey, your circulation returns as the proboscis become limp, but still like very like attached like a rubber band. So they're there, and you can feel it faintly, but you can remove them.
Yeah, he'll pull it off and be like, I would really like to go to the hospital now.
All right, no more playing with
All
the
right.
bag. Give Olivia that. You don't get to touch it no more.
Olivia takes it. Yeah.
All right. Are we getting the damn car or are we walking? Last time I'm asking this question.
I think we should split up.
Um,
Let's try and walk.
I agree.
Yeah, I don't think we
All
should try. I don't think we should split up.
Who's carrying that then? He says, pointing to the oozing sack.
So,
Is
well,
this the first time Mortimer has pointed to his oozing sack?
So Void
No,
can
he's told the
carry-
doctor about it before.
Void can carry
Um,
these things. I think there is a couple of things. There is the oozing sack. There is the copper cube. There is the book. There's the journal. Void would like to take the 3 guns that were in the bedroom.
The potential murder
were-
weapons?
What's that?
The potential murder weapons with the. You want to put your fingerprints on
well,
those?
They're guns, and we're short of them, so we can give one to Gab, right?
Gab has a gun. You have a gun, right, Gab?
She has my gun, right?
Mm. Yeah, she kind of says
Can't remember.
that she's not into using guns anyway.
Well, I'll take the 3 guns just so that we have something if we need them. And yeah, we also have so there were 2 urns. One of them was put into the bag. One of them we're also carrying, so also carry that one.
Okay.
So then, yeah, I guess then we go to the car.
We have to walk to it. So let's start going, I guess.
Yeah.
You head out into the hallway.
Oh, before that, can Mortimer also take the keystone for the portal? Or whatever it was that we ran through the gears.
Yeah, you can. Someone will need to give you a leg up, but if they do, then yes.
Well, I was able to reach it before, because I was able to tear it
Oh,
out.
yeah, you were actually, yeah.
So I'll add that to my own case.
Sure. All right. You do so. Then you all head out into the hallway. I will let everyone give me spot hidden checks. Should you wish to.
Why can't... Oh, there we go.
Okay, Humphrey, there you go.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah.
Thank the Lord. So yeah, Void and Mortimer, you're distracted by bickering over the bag. Humphrey, as you emerge, you see kind of through the windows out the front doorway. Remember how I said it's a basement flat? So there's kind of staggered steps. You see like a distinct group of people standing at the top of the steps, like easily about 8 people, all of them with like long overcoats, black trousers, and dark shoes.
I'll sort of stop everybody and go and then point it out.
Yep,
Out the
you
back,
all
come
now
on.
see it.
Out the back.
Yeah, let's
Yes.
investigate the back and see if there's some
there-
way that we can sneak out.
Yeah, there's a small problem with that idea.
Okay.
It's a basement flat. There is no back.
Is there no window or anything?
I mean, there are windows leading up to the street that you could break open and climb out of. As it stands currently, they've got like a limiter on them, which would prevent you from climbing out normally. But if you smash them, which I mean,
Well-
your bounty hunter mind knows that would draw attention anyway.
What if we were to remove what's holding the windows in the frame, and then remove them carefully using the knife?
You could easily do that.
Let me try that
Well-
then.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, if you're moving, the only problem with that is well, actually, no. I suppose what I'm saying is if you want to try the ones. Oh, Gab, hello,
Hi, Gab.
hello.
Hey.
We managed to find another alien in
Right.
the
Yeah.
10, 15, 20 minutes that we were playing.
Yeah. So do people want to catch Gab up on what's immediately happened?
We've doomed the book, the Painted Lady, to being eternally dissected by the Yith.
What? No, no.
Um,
The yellow book wasn't being put in there.
I
was
didn't say the
putting-
yellow book.
Oh, okay.
I said the Painted Lady got ruined. And she
Oh,
put in a portal
gotcha.
thing.
You put in the
Um,
and now all of the characters are going to be dissected until the end of time.
Stephen lost his wedding ring. but
Yeah,
then he
Humphrey
found it
lost his wedding
attached
ring and is very upset about it.
until he found it, which was attached to an alien, which Joseph then pulled in half.
I'm
And
confused.
Boyd was
I mean,
throwing a whole
Oh,
bunch
dear.
of stuff into a bag.
Yeah.
And now there's a
So
bunch of goons.
so Void just opened the bag to the portrait of the lady, that really boring story, and just started swiping everything that was in this room into the bag, because if we were to come back, it would have been taken anyway. We probably wouldn't have been able to access anything else. So it's like, well, either this or nothing.
When
And
you
so
say
I-
the room, you mean the apartment, like the place Vivian had gotten stuck or whatever?
So there was the bedroom, and then there was the room that was locked, and there was stuff in there. There was books, and there were things with ruins on it. It was that stuff that he was putting into the bag.
Hmm. So yeah, from your perspective, all that's really happened concerning Olivia is, there is something else. You might have something to add to their discussion of the King in Yellow, or Le Roi en Jaune. Why don't you make me an Artcraft acting roll?
Oh right, roll 20. Darn it.
Hmm. Oh, it's fine. So yeah, I mean we can. But what's happened immediately is you've left the room full of the crazed kidnappers, like alien artifacts, and Humphrey has stopped you all because he's seen people standing outside the door.
Inside the
talking about-
apartment?
No, outside the apartment.
Oh.
And we're
Oh,
talking
dear.
about ways to escape through the back via window to the street.
So yeah, I mean, if you yeah, I
Roll
mean,
20. It just takes a while.
so oh no, it's no problem. So why don't what you see immediately is I'll explain it in mechanical terms. If you want to move up closer to like the kitchen and the dining room, I'm gonna need you to make me stealth rolls. If you want to make me if you want to just go across to the bedroom, anyone who is below like a size 69 can do that perfectly normally. Size 69 or below.
Darn, I don't make the cut.
Hello.
I can do it. I'm a size 60.
I'm a
Hooray.
62.
I'm 40.
Okay,
Oh,
so
well.
I'm gonna need Mortimer to, with your lanky frame, to make me a stealth roll. Oh, that's a hard. Good. So yeah, in that case,
Mortimer.
oh Jesus.
Wow.
Who, Mortimer who?
You are a cat. You are a shadow. So yeah, as discussed earlier, the King in Yellow. You know everything Humphrey knows of his historical knowledge. It's a play that moves around in occultist circles. It's very it's renowned for like in all of the productions that it has been put on, it either drives the participants mad, it kills them, or the theatre that they're performing it in just vanishes. It just goes.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
yeah, it's probably the reason Christopher Marlowe was stabbed through the eye because he was mucking about with it, and
Right.
yes, you know a little bit about what you suspect the plot to be about. That's what you get for your hard. It is basically about a man by the name of funnily enough, the King in Yellow, who rules over a city-state by the name of Carcosa in feudal France, and it really concerns the interior of his court. You one of your acting teachers claimed to have read it. You're not quite sure, and he said it was quite similar to Macbeth.
Yeah, I guess a little bit.
It's
funny.
it's similar to the Scottish play, and it's also similar to the Scottish play in terms of its controversy. Except, this controversy is actually real and
Right.
connected to horrible things. So yeah, I mean, if you want, you can ask me. I often like to just like respond to. I often like to respond to good knowledge checks by just saying you can ask me any question, I'll answer it. So, is there anything you specifically want to know about the King in Yellow?
Um, hmm. I guess I'm trying to. Well, I guess we had heard that the connection to Wild was because he had translated it. Is that right? If I remember right.
This is his translation of it, and he was regarded as being like a language's prodigy. So this will probably be the most accurate translation that will ever be made, and certainly
Okay.
the most artistically valid, given that he was a writer as well and a good one.
And what is the original language that we're assuming it was written in?
French.
Okay.
You know it to be originally French in composition.
Okay, that's what I thought based on everything you'd said, but I just
Fun-
wanted
funnily
to go ahead and make sure.
Funnily enough, the earliest performance of it is attributed to the court jester of Charlemagne, who was actually regarded as a lunatic and died on horseback in battle. So yeah, that was
Interesting.
very interesting.
I think I know the answer out of character, but the only other thing I guess she would be thinking of is does she know anything about the female roles in the play?
I mean, like you said, the only thing you've ever heard about the plot before has come from your acting teacher, and he was, he was the kind of man who would specifically dress you up in the demeaning outfits. If
Oh
you get the
dear.
drift. You heard from him that there are a couple of female roles. The other thing the King in Yellow is regarded for is being very hard to very hard to stage properly because it is very gory and very explicit. It's much similar to there's that one Shakespearean play. It's not Coriolanus. It's the one that's really gory. I forget. But yeah, yes, as I have said before, that is okay, yes. Funnily enough, there is a Mr. Wilde in the play. So yes, you hear that there are quite a few female roles. Unfortunately, quite a few of them appear to be like victims of rape or courtesans, or let's just say that it's not the most socially progressive play.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not even like Shakespeare where you can read Lady Macbeth in a pretty badass way. It's but yes, anyway.
All right.
So yes, you returning to the more immediate action.
Right. Right.
Yeah, you what I'm saying is if you want, you can all go and try the one the one window in the bedroom.
Yep. That
Okay.
seems, but we'll want to be kind of
So
stealthily when we open the
yeah.
window to see if there's anyone out there first.
Okay. Opening the window, give me a listen roll. Okay. Yeah, you hear you don't hear anyone immediately. You hear the people around the front door kind of milling about. And you can I mean you can hear people talking in French largely beyond your immediate comprehension. It's a very
I'm gonna listen
acceptable
in.
French. Okay. Give me a listen roll. That's not a listen roll. Also, you don't
I thought
understand
you said
them.
French.
I mean, they are talking in French. That's the immediate issue that Void is facing.
Yeah, he just knows that where they kind of are.
Mm. Okay, yeah.
Wow.
You don't hear in as explicit detail as Void, but you hear it nonetheless. Yeah, as I've said though, there is no immediate danger. There is you become aware that they are at least around the corner of sight and a decent distance away, that if you made any slight noises of scuffling or injury, you wouldn't immediately be discovered. But anything loud enough for like glass smashing or the like would be that would alert them.
So, as quietly as we can, try to get the window open or taken off, or however we want to go about
Yeah,
doing this.
as I've said, there are limiters,
Yeah.
so you would need
Yeah.
to remove the window itself.
So, remove the window.
Can I do that easily enough with my critical success?
On what? Stealth? No, that was just to move about. I'm afraid your frame makes it a bit harder for you to usually be stealthy. So yes, yeah, anyone who wishes to can give me a sleight of hand roll. Don't fuck it up though, because that would be bad. Oh dear.
Oh no.
Oh double dear.
Go ahead, everyone, give it a try.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay.
2 more times.
Olivia,
Everyone
you
goes
wanna
up to the
try?
window and they try to.
Yeah.
I'm relying on you here, Gad.
Unfortunately, I'm afraid the
Oh,
most
dear.
I'm afraid the most egregious failure there is Void.
Yeah.
So yeah, so all three of the men instinctively go forwards and try to push it in at the same time. A common and annoying quandary. In effect, what occurs is Mortimer, you rattle the side. Humphrey, you rattle the other side. And Void, it just falls straight out. I will allow you. It just falls straight out as you touch it. I will allow you a hard dexterity check to like catch it as it falls.
Oh, I'll try. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm afraid unless you want to expend the luck. If anyone else wants to make that dexterity check, it'll need to be
It'll be hard.
yeah, it'll need to be a hard.
Okay.
Hey.
Yes.
Oh.
Ooh.
Humphrey, you snatch hold of it inches from the floor. Yeah, but the window is now removed. No, I won't. That's too harsh. You rest it down. You note that your sphincter is very clenched. You are very tense.
I'm very dead. I'm just like, I just want to go to the hospital. Can we please go?
Yeah. So yeah, anyone who wants to climb out, that's going to need to be a strength check and then a stealth check.
Oh dear.
I mean, if someone boosts
So-
you up, you can add plus
Yeah,
10.
can we
towards
help
strength.
one another?
Yeah,
Yeah,
if you get
well-
boosted up, you can add plus 10.
Can we help Humphrey out first, and then Olivia, and then Mortimer, and then me?
Okay, sure. I will say, given the nature of basement flats and the angle the roof is at, because it's kind of at a jutting sewer angle, you won't be able to help Void up. He'll have to just get himself up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the
If I
last
lay on-
person out, the
If
people
I lay on
outside
my-
can't help him up. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Mortimer's long enough. Could he lay down on his belly and like offer him his arm and help pull him up?
I'll say that's a +5 rather than a +10, but sure. So yeah, you I mean, you get in a position. Everyone, please give me strength rolls, because it isn't just about getting up to the point. There's also like a lip you have to traverse and move up through as well. So yep, 3 successes. Olivia? Oh dear. So yeah. Olivia, as you I mean, what order are people going in first and foremost?
So it was
Well, I-
Humphrey first, then Olivia,
Yeah.
Mortimer,
Olivia
and then
second.
me.
Okay. Okay. Olivia, as you try and push up following Humphrey, you just kind of slip and scrabble back on the tiles and fall back down into Void's arms again.
Do we have a rope? We have a rope,
We have
right?
a habit of this, don't we?
Mm.
Could we throw a rope up to
Another
Humphrey and let Olivia use that to aid her in climbing up?
You could, however, as Humphrey.
I mean, with the +10, it's only 2 points off.
You-
Could I spend luck with the 2?
You could. Do you wish
Oh.
to?
Well,
You-
then again, I don't have a lot of luck left.
Do you wish to?
Yeah, I guess so.
All right. Yeah, you happen to grab hold of the lip and pull yourself upwards just in time, kind of grabbing onto the back of Humphrey's jacket. Humphrey, given that you were the first up, I am going to need a stealth roll from you.
Okay.
I know that's where you shine best, that you're a real ninja.
Ah.
Jesus. So yeah, as Olivia grabs hold of your jacket, it further exacerbates the problem you were immediately having, which was that you had put your foot into like a slightly damp area of wood next to the kind of pub that the basement flat borders. And yeah, as she pulls you back, you just reflex slam your foot through, and this huge crashing and clanging noise of planks smashing onto barrels emanates from the little gutter lip. And you begin hearing the sounds of shouting as gangsters begin running towards your current position.
All right, time to go. Let's go, guys. I gotta start turning
inside,
this.
who's outside?
You
Uh,
know
Who's
what?
inside? Who's outside at this point?
Yeah, you all hear this. I mean, do you want to continue going up in this same way?
Olivia,
Mortimer and
Humphrey,
Void?
run. Mortimer, we should go out the front door now that they're leaving.
You and I are out?
No. As I'd said, this is why I asked about the order. You're still
Right,
going.
so I'm confused when we all rolled.
Yeah.
I
So,
mean,
so
yeah, you did all
Humphrey,
roll. In the hypothetical universe that you were to climb up that way, which could still be this universe should you wish it to be, that is what you would have gotten.
Humphrey and
Alright.
Olivia are already out. Mortimer and Void are still inside. They're running towards Humphrey and Olivia, which they should start running away. But now that they're leaving the front door, Void and Mortimer should go out the
We
front
should
door.
go out the front.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So Humphrey will. Well, he's not going to be able to run very fast, but he'll run as
Yeah.
fast as he can.
Okay.
You two stick together. Get to the car. We'll meet you there.
Yeah. Okay.
Get to the car.
They immediately shout, "Arrêtez-vous!" and then stop afterwards, and you hear the clicking of guns behind you. Do you continue running?
No, Humphrey. Especially since I presume Humphrey's not running as fast as he normally does, which isn't very fast to begin with.
Well, that's the thing. If you want to like try and reach the end of the street before you hear said click, give me a strength roll.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, a lot's been taken out of you.
Yeah.
Olivia, on the other hand, why don't you give me a strength roll?
Oh,
Ooh,
wow.
you're always really unnaturally good at strength rolls.
really
That's true.
am.
Yeah, that is true.
Olivia, you summon upon all your adrenaline and cross-country sprinting experience, and just throw yourself down the street. And yeah, and before you can even shout goodbye to Humphrey, you are off and tearing out of the corrupt regions of Paris.
Humphrey will put his hands up and turn around.
Yeah. Meanwhile, what are Mortimer and Boyd doing?
Checking the front to see if the coast is clear for us to depart that ways.
Yep,
Sure.
so-
Give me spot hidden rolls. Oh, with a hard, there's like one person still left standing guard round the front, but he's actually like facing the other way.
Oh, so we can get a surprise on him?
You can get a surprise on him, were you to shoot him in the leg from here or somehow get the jump on him.
Let's, if
D-
you
d-
want
does
to
it-
take him
does it
out
look-
quietly, I think just clock him.
Yeah. Does it look like he has
I
a
mean-
weapon?
You can't tell from this angle.
Okay.
Like I say, you can only really see the like.
Assume he does.
It's a decent assumption. Like I said, it's a basement flat, so there's kind of the one door and stairs upwards. There isn't really a way you could like flank him and get into melee range without him like hearing the door open or seeing it open.
I think we're just gonna have to run, punch him, and then run some more.
All right,
Okay.
on a count of 3.
I mean, if you want to at least try and get up closer before beginning your sprint, you can give me stealth rolls. Or you can just sprint from there.
Well, here, let me go first. Then Mortimer, you just sprint.
As you get the in first out, Mortimer is already like at
Oh,
the cat
gone.
like slunk
Okay.
up next to the door. Oh, as have you directly after him.
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's just try to sneak past him if we can.
Okay. I mean, if you want to open the door without him noticing, to a degree that you could exit, I will need hard sleight of hand.
So I
From either of us?
assume.
From either of
Well,
you,
well,
yeah.
who does it best? Are you familiar with
We
sleight
both
of
get a
hand,
roll.
or? Yes, but if you do it
You
badly,
both get a roll, but if you don't get a hard, he'll notice.
yeah. So we
I
want
have
someone who
39.
does this well.
I have it at 40. I
I-
think
yeah,
someone has that more than
I-
me.
Yeah, but
You're also
I
booking
have
off
had,
down the streets of Paris.
I have had
you're
experience,
somewhere
but
else.
that's not
You have a
enough.
39. Okay. Yep, that's bad. That's also bad. So yeah, as you attempt to open the door slightly, he turns around, shouts, "Whoa!" and the front, like the midsection between the two panels of the door, is just shredded as a shotgun blast sounds out inches from where your fingers were.
Oh, dear.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
Takes-
So
Running up to punch him,
yeah. So
think we
run
take
up
cover,
and
so-
punch.
okay.
and then I guess.
You sprint towards the man you know to be wielding a shotgun. Excellent. So why don't both
Well,
of you give me
wait.
dexterity?
How far away is he? I should ask. Am I gonna have enough
He's
time to get up to him before he takes off another shot?
movement is in yards, isn't it? He's about 2 yards.
Okay. So we should be able to
That's
get up to him before he can get another shot in.
you would hope.
Okay.
Give me dexterity rolls then. I'll make one for him. Mortimer, you're very shocked. This is a bad day.
I hold back in the doorway probably for a moment.
Yeah, also true. Oh, was that your roll, Void?
Yep.
At the heart.
The dex roll.
Okay,
Yep.
excellent. I will just see about him. That is a 64, so he failed. So yeah, you rush up, and I mean, yeah, do you punch him or wrestle the gun away from him? What do you do?
I'm just gonna punch him in the face.
Fighting brawl, please.
No. Oh, 2
Uh,
points.
Yeah. No, hang on. Given that you got the surprise round, and given that he fumbled, I'm going to allow this. So go on. What's your just roll your unarmed damage.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Unarmed. 1d3 plus. Here, let me just roll what I should have rolled.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
D3 plus a D4 it should be.
Yeah.
Oh, 5. I'm gonna make a con save for him. Yeah, no, he fails. You smack him incredibly hard under the jaw, and he just crumples. You've been able to get enough momentum to give him a right good haymaker, and he's been taken out.
So once he drops, motion to Mortimer to keep going and take off. Run as fast as we can.
Do you run the other way down the street then?
Yeah, away from the mob people. We want to
Right,
get
we're
away.
running, just trying to get towards y'all meet.
Yeah. So give me dexterity rolls. Actually, no, sorry, this is the speed. So both of you give me strength rolls. Oh. Mortimer's not moving too quickly. As I said, you are this is all very shocking and aggravating for you.
Yeah.
And
Mortimer.
Mortimer just has a wild look in his eyes. He's trying to run as fast as he
yeah.
Is there
yeah, as-
any way that he can be assisted? I mean,
give me a luck roll.
oh boy. Hey.
Ooh! Tell you what, you regain a D4 of luck for that, as I'm feeling generous. You
Oh,
regain 1
great.
luck. You looking around, you happen to, as you look back, panickedly think we're not going to outrun them, because you do see people leveling guns behind you at this point. You turn around immediately to find the door opening as a single mobster begins climbing out of the car, looking surprisedly towards you.
So
there's
wait,
like
so
a single
there's
car, keys still in the ignition.
We can take his car.
take the
That's what
car.
I'm saying.
Take the
Okay.
car.
I mean, he will resist, so do you, punch him to get him out of the way or something?
Yeah, brawling, whatever
Okay.
I have to do to get him
Yeah,
out of the way so we
fighting
can get in
brawl.
there.
Fighting brawl. He fails. He fails. Yeah, he fails. Yeah, you just shove him against the railings as you throw yourself inside. Mortimer, yeah, you see Void climb into the car.
And I want to get the car started and drive up to Mortimer and get him in and then keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you'd like, you could very easily, given how far behind Mortimer would have been from you, you can very easily do the thing of circling round, slamming opening the door, and then just Mortimer jumps in from an angle.
Yep, that's what we'll
Okay.
do.
We gotta go pick up
Yeah.
Olivia and Humphrey.
Yeah, speed is of the essence. Unfortunately, given the time this will take, and given that people are behind you with guns, I'm going to need Mortimer to make me a dexterity roll. Ooh, a hard. In that case, only a D3 shots will be properly leveled against you. So 2 shots. So that's 12. So that's a hard success. And that's 43. So that's a standard success. So can you give me 2 dodge rolls? Okay, so that yep, one of the bullets smashes off of the pavement next to you as it like slams into the side of your like it scuffs against the heel of your shoe, unnerving you.
Laurie.
The other one, give me a luck roll to determine the caliber of bullet you're about to be hit with. Oh, good. It's just a pistol, and it's a pocket pistol as well. So actually, no, that would have to be a hard. Sorry. So yeah, unfortunate memories of your mob days return as a 45 pierces you under the armpit.
Oh
yeah,
boy,
not,
that'd kill
not,
me.
in due time, yeah. Hopefully, you can get to the hospital. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of grazed the left side of your rib cage, and is like stings like hell. But you appear to have come away relatively unscathed.
I throw my stuff into the car and jump in and drive, and I start to shoot back at them.
Yeah, sure. You fling yourself in. They are going to fire at the car as it moves past. You do see Humphrey at this point standing in the on the pavement, holding his arms up as well.
Oh, I'm gonna try and
Nothing, not gonna-
drive between him
Yeah.
and where he's holding his hands up, so that
Be
who's
very
aiming at him
careful.
blocks him.
Can I just say, an idea does come into your head at this point.
Yes,
That's better
you
than
can
this.
say that.
You could run them over.
Much better idea.
Oh, my God.
Much better idea.
They're people, though. Void. Oh my.
Are they? They're mobsters. Are they though?
Drive.
Today, it's a
Void is
decision
really
only
just gonna
you.
try and get up to Humphrey and get him in the back.
Okay.
Because I
It-
don't
it
think
is-
Void has it in him to run people over.
Yeah, it is the kind of car that you can open the back doors from the front, or at least Mortimer can. So should Mortimer like Humphrey enough to let him in, he can choose to
Yeah.
do so.
Well, as we're driving towards more shooting monsters, I'm like, what are you doing? Stop! Turn around!
Okay.
We're getting Humphrey.
Yeah.
Door. Come on,
Okay,
get in.
good. You open up the door. Humphrey, you see your two friends emerge out the front, just like smash someone in the face. Void runs very quickly down the pavement before pulling someone out of his car, punching you in the face, and then climbing in. Mortimer throws himself in afterwards after being shot, and then Mortimer promptly fires out of the window. Given that this normally would take place over 2 combat rounds, but you're kind of hurried, I'm going to let Mortimer make me 3 fighting pistol attacks. Well, that second one hits. And 12 damage will mean that, yeah, you fire off like a string of revolver bullets. They don't disperse, but they do sufficiently unclump as like one of their younger members just takes a revolver bullet to the throat and falls down at the side. So yeah, you just see this car screaming up towards you, Mortimer flailing his hands and opening the back door. What do you do? Humphrey?
I grab him by the collar. And
Oh yeah, I was just thinking. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
I guess I'll just run into the car.
This
Yeah.
is the problem. When he picked Mortimer up, Mortimer was at least far away from them, so the speed of the car was such that he didn't have to make a jump roll. You will have to make a jump
I'll
roll.
have to jump in. Okay.
Can I grab
Alright.
the helmet?
Okay, I'll say you have a +10 because Mortimer's
Plus
going
10?
to catch you. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
That will be useful.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, I'm afraid you'd need like 16 luck. Well, I will
Well,
say I'm happy to increase that to +20, which would mean you pass. Oh, actually, would it? No, it wouldn't.
No, I
you'd
just
have
thought
to
spent
spend
6, but
Yeah. I mean, if you would be happy to spend
Do
6 luck, I will tell you what would have gotten you the +20.
yeah, I'll spend 6 luck.
Okay. So, I mean, you might as well not spend it now. It will be whether or not Void agrees to this, but Void would have to slow down.
Keep driving. Don't stop.
What? Gee. Oh, does he think that? Yeah. Okay. So Humphrey's there with his hands up. He's not moving. I don't think that he can probably get enough speed in from a standstill to maybe get to us. So yeah, I'll probably have to slow down.
Well, we could just do like one of those like stunt movie sort of flips.
If you want to do the spin the car around to help him, why doesn't Void make me a drive auto check?
Oh, that's
So you
gonna
can
get us
either
in a
slide
worse
down or make the
case.
drive auto.
Yeah.
I think I'm just gonna slow down and pick him up
Okay.
normally, like
Yeah.
not try to do
in
anything
that-
too fancy.
In that case, I'm afraid as you turn around,
Take shots then.
everyone's going to need to make me a luck roll.
Before or after I take out the 6?
Actually, Humphrey, if you're kind of flinging yourself in, you won't need to because the door will protect you. And as we know,
Okay,
from
I'll
movies,
just-
car doors are bulletproof.
Oh, bulletproof. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So Void and Mortimer make me luck rolls.
So this isn't just slowing down. This is turning around.
This is making ourselves a target now that we're slowing down.
Yes. Slowing down in this environment is definitely making you a target.
Okay.
That's why I was like, do you really want to slow down? Okay, yeah, so you're both taking a D6 potentially of shots. Mortimer, that's 4 shots for you. Void, that's 4 shots for you.
And with the
So,
vest,
I mean, the vest reduces damage. It
We haven't
does.
seen what that. This is
oh,
just for
I
people
see.
shooting.
I
at us.
see.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So when I said shots, I'm about to roll the attacks against you. That's what I meant by that.
Okay.
So Mortimer, that's a success. That's a success. That's another success, and that's a hard failure. So would you like to make me 3 dodge rolls? Fail. And 2 hards. The 2 hards will mean you don't get hit by them, but you will take a pistol bullet to the shoulder. Oh, and it's in a vital artery, I'm afraid. Yeah,
Oh dear.
that's fairly bad. Void, on the other hand, that's a failure. That's a success. And that's a failure. So make me a dodge roll.
All right.
Oh wait, there's another
Eh,
one I failed.
And it
Yeah,
has
that
to be,
so make me two dodge rolls.
Okay. And it has to be dodge, not dex, right?
Yeah, it has to be dodge.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh dear. So I might as well roll both d10s now. That's a full 11 damage.
All right. And with the vest,
That I mean, yeah, with the vest you reduce it by 4 because it's 2 for each, I think.
okay.
So that's yeah, that's 7.
So I am out.
Hmm.
Well,
So, yeah,
actually, well, I'm -1, so I might be dead.
I don't think you're dead. I think it's still the same like make con saves rules.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, Mortimer, you look at Void next to you as a bevy of pistol shots spray through the windows, shattering them and covering you all with glass, and you see him just slump next to you.
Can I him over to the seat and drive?
You can shove him into the back. Like swapping seats with him would be a bit more difficult. But
Into
yeah.
the back then with Humphrey.
Yeah, I'll allow it, given your strength. Yeah, it's not so bad. Okay.
Where's Gab?
Gab. Well, I was just
Look,
about.
Gab took off.
Gab
Yeah,
is-
Gab
you are-
Gab went
you
full
are-
force dump
you are-
and just started running and didn't
Run,
stop.
run, Olivia.
Yeah, she just boom.
So yeah, you take the wheel. Why don't you give me a drive auto check to see like how fast you can get it to take off and how skillful.
Damn.
No.
Yeah, it jams. The keys jam in the ignition.
This is like a slasher film.
Yeah, the car just back starts and yeah.
Humphrey my pistol, and I'm like, keep us covered.
Okay.
And you try it again. So I'm afraid I will. Humphrey, do you stick your head up to initiate fire?
Well, yeah, I'll grab the pistol and try with as best I can to see
Yeah.
if anybody's coming.
Funnily enough, now that you're involved in a direct gunfight, Humphrey, which you will be now, I can introduce you to some gunfight rules I've been experimenting with, which is basically, you know how in Melee you can fighting brawl to parry back.
Yeah.
So I've decided it might be interesting to in a gunfight do like fighting pistol to
Cover
shoot back,
fire.
or like cover fire. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So yeah. For now, why don't you give me a dexterity roll, which I shall
Okay.
oppose just one for the mobsters. Oh yeah, yours was actually, would yours be? Yeah, yours would be better than theirs. So yeah, you have the first shot. You have
Okay.
the combat. There is just a cloud of mobsters, like at least 10 of them, full trench coats and various rifles and pistols moving towards you.
Okay, I will. I'll try and get somebody in the middle with maybe hopes of if they go down, maybe some people will trip.
If you're looking for if they go down or tripping, I'll let you make me an int roll.
Okay.
There is a fire hydrant that they're walking up to that you could shoot.
Yeah. Okay, I'll try to shoot that.
Yep, shoot the top off it. All right, give me a fighting pistol roll.
Okay.
Yes. You
That's what I'm talking about.
fire it, and
Oh,
this
whoops.
it's fine. It succeeds either way.
Yeah.
This-
Yeah. That's
this-
true.
This huge plume of water cascades up. Mortimer, you can't help but like look to the side as this just avalanche of water cascades up and covers all of the mobsters in this. Like most of them trip over, the ones that don't have to dodge to the side. So yeah, that's fun. They don't get an attack this round. I'm gonna need a con roll from Void first.
Fumble.
No.
You're
That's
dead,
bad.
I think. Are you
Yep.
dead?
Yeah, he's
I'm
dead.
probably dead.
He's officially time to burn that character sheet.
Oh God, I'm so sorry. Yeah, he's
What happened?
Void's
Fumble.
dead. That's what happened.
Well, like,
my God.
what about the calm would have caused this?
I mean blood loss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the way Call of Cthulhu works is you do a con roll at the end of every turn, and then if you lose, you die. It's a pretty deadly system.
Yeah. And then if you like, it's not like D&D where you can just do the pop back down and up again with healing. It's
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, in D&D 5, there's 3 death saves. They
Yeah.
basically just changed it from 3 to 1. I mean, it's very similar. Just instead of
Yeah.
3, you have 1, and it's not a best of system. It's the minute you fail it. Oh, and the other thing is you don't stabilize. So like if you do the death saves in 5e, you stabilize. Here until you get to a hospital, you keep making con saves at the end of every turn.
Or until someone like aids.
I was going to say, I think there's
Yeah.
a first aid option.
First
but-
aid, yeah, until somebody
There
does
is.
something to you. But in D&D, if you just
Unfortunately-
make 3, you stabilize and you're fine.
I mean,
It has to be until somebody does some
un-
actual healing on you.
Unfortunately, like Mortimer just shoved him in the back and spent his turn attempting to drive. Humphrey spent his turn shooting. Nobody was.
Oh
first aiding
yeah,
Wood.
that's true. Yeah,
So I can't first aid him if I wanted to.
we could have, but we didn't.
Oh,
Neither one of us thought of that.
I mean, from where you are now, and given where your priorities are focused, I would argue that you wouldn't be able to. First
I
aid.
don't think so either. Just
Yeah.
because I can't drive.
Oh god. Oh, first character death, Drake.
Yeah, I will. I'm in the back seat with you, bud. I mean, it's. As surprising it is as it is, it's not that surprising. It is Call of Cthulhu.
Let's
Yeah.
keep the momentum.
Like the old rule is, you should just have a stack of blank character sheets next to you when
Oh,
you're
yeah.
playing this game.
Sweet.
That's like
yeah,
the old
but
joke.
like, I've never been able to understand like, well, and I say I've never been able to understand that because I kind of actually lived through it, where we had a campaign where people were dying right and left, and it just got to the point where
I mean, being
it was
fair,
really.
This,
I'm sorry?
We've been going for quite a few months now, and this is.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is way longer than most Call of Cthulhu characters last. So I would say, Void, be very proud of your performance,
Well, I think.
and you will not be forgotten. You will not be
No.
forgotten, and your next character is gonna be dope. But that's to you as a person, not to Void. What Humphrey would say to Void is, "You've."
This is. What were you gonna say, Gab? Sorry.
Not important.
Oh no, it is. What were you gonna say?
Go ahead.
Oh,
I was just trying to say, like, I don't know. Never mind.
okay. Right. So yeah, you. God. This is the other thing, in that I don't know what to do with Drake now. You're just here for the rest
No,
of the
no,
session.
no.
and I-
Go on with the characters that you do have.
Okay. Do you want to? This is why we really should have talked about a backup character ahead of time. Do you want to begin working on your new character now in the background?
So it'll probably take me a little while to create a new character. I just don't want to create a throwaway character. I want to make something that, I
Yeah.
like playing. So
Yeah,
probably
yeah, of
next
course.
week would be the time to introduce a new
Okay.
character.
Yeah, that's fine. So yeah, I mean, no, even with the adrenaline, I don't think Humphrey would notice right away.
I don't think any of us would know until later
Yeah.
when it cools down.
So
It'll be
yeah,
interesting to see.
Mortimer, give me another drive auto.
Come on, come on.
Hooray! Yep, the car splutters up, and you. It's clear that at some point a bullet has hit the engine block, and like there is thick smoke pouring out of the front. But you nevertheless push it into gear and begin driving forward.
I drive down, presumably the street that Gab went, and see if we can't pick her up on our drive.
I mean, yeah, that's what I was actually going to ask. Would there have been any like rhyme or reason as to where or when or where Olivia would have run, or was she just running?
I mean, I wouldn't think that she would just be running amok for like a million miles. Like, she's gonna get
Yeah.
a safe distance away, but she also
Yeah.
wants to find the other guys.
Give me a con roll actually to like see
Alright.
how far said safe distance realistically is.
Oh, true.
Oh, it's quite a way. So yeah. Mortimer, give me a luck roll.
So I guess in that case, would Olivia be making for our other car, and I guess Mortimer at this point is just driving for the hospital.
Well, I mean, why doesn't Olivia make me a luck roll?
All right. The
Yeah, in that case, you can't find her in the nearby streets, and you are very aware that this is not an area that it is safe to remain in.
Yes, so just for the hospital then.
All right. Yep, I will say you make it to the hospital. When you stop the car, you realize it doesn't make sense to stop the car like outside the hospital, because that's going to raise about 10 million questions. So you abandon it in a side road a little ways away. When you do so and you look in the back, Void is not moving.
Come on, Humphrey, we gotta get him inside.
All right, yeah.
Okay.
Sort of
You,
try and get him into the hospital as quickly as possible.
Okay. You pick him up. You take him into the hospital with you. Yeah. When you do so, and you yourselves, given the state of you, are immediately taken to rooms as well. You'd actually be in the same ward, which would be like homicide, I think. When you trauma.
Yeah, I was like, wait,
Murder all the
homicide.
patients.
Yeah, you're trauma. After a little while, a doctor comes to find you and says that Mr. Void has died of blood loss.
Humphrey will ask if they have contact with his, or know how to get in contact with his, or if they found anything on him that would let him contact his family.
They say technically if he was your friend, you are entitled to his immediate possessions. So would like Humphrey and Mortimer are there. Yeah, this is, like I said, you're kind of in beds next to each other.
Well, and they might be talking to Mortimer, because I would presume I'd be fairly out of it. But
Oh, yeah,
Mortimer, I
that's
think
true.
you're relatively
Yeah,
I
Mortimer.
have
healthy, right?
I have 3 hit points left.
That's more than two.
Oh, you have one more than me.
All right.
Not bleeding out just yet.
In that case, I'm going to say Humphrey is asleep. They come up to you and say, Mr. Void has passed to blood loss.
Oh dear. And we went. Any letters of next of kin?
Well, as his acquaintances and, French law states that you are entitled to receive his possessions. So here you are. They hand you like a small tray, which does not constitute his clothes, and you note that they haven't given you any of his guns either. They seem to believe that that's not an appropriate thing to hand you in a hospital. But
Where were we staying at, or did we have a hotel?
you had the hotel that you were staying at.
At present? I asked the doctor a message to the hotel for a Miss Olivia Blythe here.
Okay,
So she
sure.
can turn out there.
Yeah, the doctor nods. It will be done.
I feel a bit.
Yeah, there's a whole quantity of stuff in his inventory. Which, yeah, I mean, there's his notebook. There's some various pocket handbooks.
Was he holding on to the King in Yellow?
That was Humphrey, actually. That's in Humphrey's
Okay.
possession.
To just
He was holding on to stuff like the I'm not sure how. Drake, like how
Yep.
much of your inventory is like notes and how much is actual possessions?
So all the top half, like the outfits, outfit 2,
Yeah.
and some of the stuff at the bottom there, I like took a wallet.
Hmm.
Let's see. Some of the books I think we've already read, so they probably don't matter. There's still 2 silver idols that he still has on him.
I mean, it takes you a long time in this game to
Yeah.
properly read books, so they're still
Well,
useful.
Well, I think it was, what was it, the special books that I was handing out
Yeah.
to like
The
Gab
the
and
fourth book of the Houses.
yeah.
So yeah, Gab has that one, and and you have the 2 silver idols from
Yep.
the
We sold one.
catacombs.
We had 3 of them. We
You
sold
sold
one.
one. Yeah. So in the tray there are 2 silver idols. There are a couple of notebooks. Yeah, there's and journals and the like.
I'll put those in my bag.
Sure.
Don't
Oh, and-
inform my
And don't forget the bag of sex
to recover
toys.
first.
I was about to ask. There is, yeah. They
What?
also. Would you have had that on your person?
Probably not. That's probably back at the room.
But yeah, probably
Yeah.
not. I would imagine.
Let us not diminish the.
Carrying around a big trash bag of dildos.
Yep. Just shove them in. Oh yeah, there's also the strange copper cube, 3 feet wide and 3 feet tall, which they.
What? Go if you could type those in the chat there, Drake. I'll add them to my inventory. In the meantime, I
put what in the chat?
type in those things so I know what to add to the inventory.
I'll type them in. It's fine.
Drake's sitting around. Anyway, I said to the doctor, don't inform. And I'd like him to. I think I need to do the same.
We'll get word to this Miss Blythe, Mademoiselle Blythe.
Merci.
Yeah. Yeah, he nods and walks away. Olivia, it is around about this time that you would be returning to your hotel.
Is
People
Olivia back?
on the street. No,
I think
at the hotel.
she had to leave. She says that
She's away from the
AFK.
keyboard for a second.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. In that case, in that case, she's not even going to be able to make it until tomorrow at the earliest. So we might as well.
Hospital?
A little while later, Humphrey, you wake up. Mortimer's sitting next to you, up in his bed.
Oh, that does not feel good.
Mortimer's just deep in thought, smoking a cigarette. Flask in his hand, but it's so that the doctors won't take it away from him.
Can I have some of that?
He doesn't respond.
What's going on? Where's Void? Now I really need some of that, and he's just gonna take the flask and drink some of it in view of any doctors or nurses that are there, and then give it back.
If they do have objections, they don't voice them.
And takes it back and takes his own drink.
I don't know about you, but I want to get that fucking play away from me as quickly as possible. We've already lost one good friend. We don't need to lose any more. boy was a good guy. I say we get Tadsworth over here, get this thing away from us.
We need to get all this
Yeah.
away from us.
Yeah, get
I
our
don't know what
payday.
this would
And then me and Gab, we just split the money, and or Olivia, and we're out of here.
I
This is
came to parents to get away from all this crap.
yeah. All right. Is there back in this day, was there the ability to contact a nurse, like when you were at your bed?
Yeah, you shout.
You shout, yeah, you shout. There was. I didn't know. I thought maybe there were like a bell. I thought maybe a bell.
They
No.
invented vocal cords.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Are we playing in a caveman era? No. Oh yeah, I don't think I ever. I don't know. I don't know if I've told you about that, but my Down Darker Trails campaign idea for a good while has been that I want to do one pre-European discovery in America. It's like everyone's Native American.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool.
Then you can actually be a shaman, which would be fun.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, there's like a nurse on doing her rounds at the moment.
I'll ask her if she can get a telegram to Tadsworth at his townhouse, and tell him to come to the hospital as soon as possible.
She nods. Oh, good. Gab, you back?
Yes.
Okay. After a good while of running, Olivia, you make it back to your hotel. People have looked at you very askance as you're running. Like
Of course.
Yeah, you are intensely out of breath. Your clothing is ripped and torn. You are wide-eyed and panicked. The other thing that you also find interesting, given where you're running past, is this little monument here. I forget what it's called, but there is a term for it. You as you run past it, you give me a. I suppose this would be a listen roll, given that you wouldn't be going immediately past it, and it'll be fairly easy. It'll be +10.
All right. A listen roll, you said?
Yes.
Oh dear. Come on, roll 20.
Oh yes, it's called the Place de la Nation. So yeah, as you run around the perimeter of the Place de la Nation, you begin hearing this kind of low thrumming chanting that begins escalating rapidly. And as you look over into the center of the park, because it's kind of like a large, lush green park around which a roundabout is situated, you see there are a wide variety of people. It's later on in the day now, like it's gotten quite firmly dark, and there are a wide variety of people holding flaming torches, and they all seem to be gathered around a central wooden figure that you can't quite make out details of at this distance. But you overhear them chanting, "Le roi, le roi, qui est le roi?"
And I know that to mean?
The king, who is the king?
Oh dear.
Mm-hmm. So you know the Place de la Nation to be like a place that's famous for a lot of bronze sculptures by an artist named Delau. And it appears they're all gathered around one of said sculptures.
Can I see the sculpture from this distance in the light of their torches, or no? Like what it
Because
looks like?
because of how dark it is, and because there are large hedgerows surrounding the place, you'd have to get closer.
That's fine. No, I would rather get the actual heck out of here. But as far as possible from that.
As far as possible. You're going back to the hotel then, I assume.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, as you're as you're running, give me a luck roll. Oh, good.
Hey,
Yep, you get back like with a lot of askance looks and a journalist shouting "Mademoiselle Blythe" after you, but
Oh dear.
without any direct great deal of incident. And as you kind of fall staggering into the lobby, a neat and prim bellboy walks up to you and puts a telegram under your wheezing nose and says, "For you, Mademoiselle Blythe."
I read it.
Okay. You grab hold of it, and it says whatever Mortimer asked to dictate. In effect, we're in hospital. We were wounded. Please come and see us.
at your earliest convenience.
Yeah.
What time of night is it now?
It's about 8, 8:15. It's not too late.
Let me double check. Let me see. Okay, I actually was not injured. How far away is this hospital from this hotel?
It's easily like a good few miles. It's basically you're back in the 20th, and it's all the way down in the east, the far east side of the 13th.
I mean, unless I could take a cab there or something, it just seems like after having already run through the night streets alone, I might be better off going in the light of day to see them.
Yeah,
Is
you.
the car there at the hotel?
Humphrey's car would be there if he'd brought it there. But I don't know if you have the keys. That's the main
Yeah, I
issue.
wouldn't
Yeah.
assume that I could just, willy-nilly do that. Plus,
Yeah.
it's still dangerous for me to be traversing about by myself, especially now that I've seen evidence that they are above ground doing stuff in the open. That's really unnerving. Because, before it was sort of more of a in the shadows, as it were. I mean, I know it's nighttime, so it's still in the shadows, but you know what I mean. Yeah, I think that she will lock herself securely in the hotel room, try to get some sleep, and then go see them, at the dawn, at the light of dawn the next day.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, you bed down for the night, and a similar happenstance occurs. Given the state of your injuries, I'm going to say you take a lie-in the next day. Does that seem fair? Mortimer and Humphrey.
Yeah, absolutely. I would definitely need to stay at the hospital for
Plenty
quite a
of
while.
morphine.
Given the state of your condition, they are going to pump you with morphine. So Mortimer, you recover 2. Humphrey, you recover 3.
Okay.
So you're actually on equal health now.
Yeah.
Hooray. 5 buddies. Yay. So yeah, in that case, Olivia, I'd say you can get up and get yourself presentable again. Head round before they're eaten up.
All right, sounds good.
Okay. So, so yeah, you, I mean, do you do anything else before you go to the hospital?
No, not really. I mean, if the hotel has like a breakfast option, probably
Yeah.
that, but
Yeah, fair enough. It has a fairly good quality, like Italian style coffee bar. So yeah, you enjoy coffee and breakfast biscotti, which you were unaware were a thing, but they're surprisingly decent. Um, so yeah, you 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 head down to the hospital. Walking in, you see both in like nightshirts with ragged and slashed faces and very haggard and sleepy dispositions, your former acquaintances. You notably can't
Advised,
see Void.
heavily sedated.
Heavily sedated. You notably can't see Void anywhere.
well, I guess I'll ask them how they are and what happened first.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we're just both knocked out.
If they're
I mean, both
No,
of you,
no.
both of you can give me con rolls to
Oh,
determine.
okay.
I mean, I'm not going to wake them up. I might do
Lucidity.
the thing where you sit in the chair next to the bed for a while and see if they wake up.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
damn.
Yeah. In that case, I'm gonna say Humphrey. I'll let you wake up a little bit later. For now, Mortimer, you're pretty lucid. You see Olivia walk in, and yeah.
It's Blythe. Glad to see you sure are a sight for sore eyes. Pretty much all I need is sore.
Yes, I'm glad you all are, well, relatively all right. You've made it here at least. What happened?
We you and Humphrey were leaving out the back. Boyd and I took it as an opportunity to as we were running, I took a bullet to the my side here. One of those goons as they were coming out of a car, so we drove around to try to pick you, and we managed to get him, but I slowed down too much. Um, he went down, and we put him in the back, and we put Humphrey in, but the car wouldn't start, so I was trying to fix it to keep him busy by shooting a fire hydrant. I need to get my pistol back from him. We managed to go down the street. We were looking for you for a while. We couldn't see you anywhere, so we got to the hospital. And,
No.
yeah, he must have caught one really bad when he pulled the car down. Yeah, he's
She's just like, I think, stunned for a moment and then like just quiet after that. And then, gets a handkerchief out of her purse. This awful. I mean, he's worked so hard for all of this.
he's gone. Yeah, he got into this endeavor. This yeah, I don't know what this is supposed to be. Some papers. We're supposed to just some papers. What the hell is this? What the hell is all of this?
I don't even know.
Humphrey,
He'd be up by now,
Yep.
yeah.
I'm up by now. Okay, so yeah, as I wake up, I'm like, Olivia, how's it going?
Apparently not well.
Yeah. By now, I'm sure that you've heard that Void's dead.
Yes.
We were discussing just getting. We believe we found what Tadsworth is looking for. We were discussing getting that back to Tadsworth and getting our payday as quickly as possible. Does that seem reasonable to you as well? Because I think Mortimer and I are pretty done with whatever's going on here.
I can certainly understand that. I mean, you all, as you said, were pulled into it just being paid to do a job for someone. You didn't even have the personal danger part of it like I did, so I understand that outlook completely.
Well, hopefully once we get this out of our possession, this stuff out of our possession, hopefully everything will be a little less dangerous. I have a feeling that the things have been only getting worse as we acquire more of these bizarre books and artifacts, and so it stands to reason that maybe if we got rid of all of them, or maybe our luck would change a little bit.
you said there's a Crowley guy or something who will pay for.
Well, I mean, I don't know how much he would pay for it. I don't even know if he would pay for it. I know that we have a buyer in Tadsworth, so I mean, usually I'd say let's shop around and see who we can get to buy it, but in this case, I'm inclined to say let's just sell it to Tadsworth.
Should we even tell him that we? I mean, yeah.
I mean, Tadsworth. I mean, I know it's hard to know if he's trustworthy or not, but to be honest, I mean, I'd like to get back to Boston. I think a good payday. You know, we all go home happy.
I think I should go back to Boston too.
So I say we go talk to Tadsworth. Well, maybe after a few days in the hospital.
I should probably go. Yeah, once I get fixed up, I should go talk to a friend first. Yeah.
All right. Could we even maybe have Tadsworth meet us here? Does anybody have an objection to that?
Yeah, that makes sense because you all don't need to, the condition you're in, you don't need to be leaving anytime soon.
Yeah, and maybe hopefully we could. Oh yeah. And maybe we should stick together. Sorry, I got mixed up thoughts. Maybe we should stick together. You know.
Some sort of sleeping quarters here for yourself or nearby.
I can look into that. Right. I'll ask at the hospital and see if there's a more local hotel. If not,
Okay. Let's make a plan to maybe check in once or twice a day, just to make sure that everybody is still alive and here.
Yeah,
and not taken or kidnapped or
Let's-
any other sort of terrible thing that has happened to
keep together as
any
often
good.
as possible. And,
Yeah,
and
okay. That might even be yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. Just some way, yeah, okay. I just wanted to yeah. And the other thing that we need to do is contact either Void's family, or if Void doesn't have a family, have some arrangements
do you know if he
set up.
had family, or if, could we check some of his belongings right now? See if he had any notes or something.
I mean, yeah, you have his belongings. Drake, did Void have family that he would have kept record of?
So he left home when he was very, very young. He was a dropout, and he didn't actually keep his lines open to his family. So really, the only one that he has is Mayhem.
Hmm.
Crap, that stupid dog. What are we gonna do with his dog?
Is Mayhem
Uh,
currently?
I ain't taking that dog. I don't even know where that dog is.
Yeah, I'm
Where's
trying to
Mayhem?
think of where the dog would have been.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Drake, do you remember the last time you had Mayhem?
Did you leave him at the? Was he at the hotel when you checked in?
Yeah, he would have been.
Maybe I don't know, out of
Yeah.
character. So
Yeah, was he? Was he? Yeah, we're all asking the DM. We're like, what was he at the hotel?
he would have been at the hotel, yes. I mean, you could have brought him with you this morning, should you have wished.
If we would have got him into the
I don't
car
know if
and
it
got
would
him out of
occur to
there.
her.
Hmm.
I don't know that taking a dog with her to a hospital. It doesn't seem like the kind of thing she would do.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
guess he's still at the hotel.
yeah. But you've at least seen him this morning, you know.
I'm
he's
sure like a
still-
bellhop has been tipped well to walk him or, let him
Yeah.
not poop in the room or whatever.
Whatever it is dogs do. Yeah. I mean, yeah, you can find. There's not even any need for a library use roll then. You can find no evidence of family he cared enough about to write down.
Damn. Well, I guess it just falls to us. Then we find we find some good home for his dog.
Yeah, we can. We'll
look on-
find. I could ask my son back in Boston. I know him and his wife are thinking about having a kid. Maybe they'd want to have a dog first. See if they like caring for something. I think he'd like
Yeah. 24/7, right.
that.
Yeah.
And I think we could probably figure out some arrangements for the body. Three of us figure something out.
Yeah, we could find a nice plot for him.
Yeah.
So yeah, with that you continue resting. While everyone's resting, and also Gab, this would be Olivia. This would be a good opportunity for you to catch up on your days of working time and keep up the residency, as it were.
Oh, right.
Should you wish to.
Well, I mean, I think she is still pretty nervous about the whole, actresses, dressing rooms, whatever situation.
Funnily enough, your residency is actually up there anyway, but you had a job lined up somewhere else before that, regardless.
Oh,
Yeah, it's another theatre. It's over away from the kind of interconnected main chain of theatres, but it's for another production. It's a Hungarian play, quite a recent modernist play called the Girl in the Black Mantle, and you are said girl. So it's It's quite an interesting proposition, and the count who is financing it with his own money pays well.
All right, then.
Mm-hmm.
Should we
So,
roll to
yeah.
heal ourselves?
No, I'll roll your healing dice. Also, does anyone want to heal sanity? They do have therapists on the staff.
Sure.
That's what I was gonna say. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yes,
I do
yes,
want to do
very much
that.
so.
Mortimer,
Oh, we'll have
you-
group therapy, maybe.
Yeah.
There
Let's,
you
let's,
go.
let's talk about our issues. Mortimer, you regain 4 hit points. Humphrey, you regain 2. Humphrey, you've got a mountain to climb, my friend.
Yeah, I really do. I really do. He's really.
Yeah, so I think we can skip over that process. A few days pass, you're back to full health again. Tell you what, why don't we roll? Yeah, I'm going to be generous and say some luck should come your way. Let's say instead of that, let's say.
I was also
3D
gonna say for the luck, maybe he would read Treasure Island while he was healing.
Yeah, that's nice. So you're going to get 3d10 back.
And suddenly pirates climb out of the handbag.
Right?
Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
So, yeah,
man.
that's 19 luck back. And
That's the 30.
yeah, same to you, Mortimer. Yeah.
19 luck?
12. You get 12. So yeah, you
What about sanity?
yeah, what about sanity? I'm gonna need you to actually, yeah, no, I don't think I will need any rolls. I'm gonna make some rolls for the psychologist. That's a success. That's
All
a
right, what is
hard
it we roll for psychologating?
So no, you don't roll anything. The psychologist does.
Ooh, right.
If
All
you so that means basically I roll it 90% of the time, and then if there's a party that happens to have a psychologist on it, then they can roll to
right,
you-
right.
heal other people's sanity. They can't heal their own.
Indeed.
So really, you need a party of like 2 psychologists.
Exactly. And
yeah.
I know this well in real life.
Oh
I
yeah,
missed that last
that's-
part. One more time, please.
Oh, I said I know this well. Oh, you mean him or me? I'm sorry.
The both of you.
Oh, he's saying that if it's an NPC psychologist, he's rolling it to see how well they therapute the rest of us. But if the party had a psychologist in it, then that PC would roll their own psychologizing, whatever.
Yeah, psychologism. So yeah, that's it's an interesting game. While we're sort of doing this healing process, oh yeah, first of all, I'll roll for your restored sanity. So, Klein receive 18 sanity back.
Damn. All right.
And Mortimer, you receive that. Oh yeah, yours was actually a lower level of success. So you receive. Oh, you receive exactly the same. It doesn't even matter. Just take your dice away. It's all the same. Olivia, if you want to like pop in and pay for therapy, your credit rating would cover that.
Oh yes, I would very much like to.
Okay, so I'm going to roll for that. That's a success, so just a standard. So you regain 11.
Yay!
Hooray. My friend is dead. Hooray.
I was about to say now we're all much more prepared to do the funeral.
Yeah.
Exactly. Otherwise, we would just break down sobbing the whole time.
Yeah. Whereas now you're just like, ugh, he's get in the hole.
Here's a
So-
question. To interrupt. When it comes to sanity, or next to assume is some other number. I don't know. In the line. So you have 3 numbers in a line. What is the difference
Yeah.
between all of them?
That's what you started with. The 89 is what you started with.
Mhm.
It's starting sanity and then it's max. So the grade
Yeah.
number is your max
The one
sanity.
you can't change is your max.
Is your max, and that's based on there's some calculation
I
for it
think
that has
it's
it's
power.
Cthulhu.
Add something.
Yeah,
Cause-
power and Cthulhu mythos
Mm,
and
yeah.
so yeah.
And I can't change, but I can change my 50 and I can change my 46.
You change your 64, yeah. That's the 64. I think is what you roll, and then 50 is what you have. I don't know. I look. I just ask you for stuff. I have no idea.
I'll
This-
just
this-
change the 46.
This is beyond me. So yeah, you while we're at this point, I might as well ask you outright. I am very aware that mechanically and thematically there is more than enough justification for all of the participants involved in this story to like cut for loose and head off. Basically, what I'm saying is that from my perspective, I have designed De Profundis in such a way that you can like, unlike say Horror on the Orient Express or such like, you won't get the full story, but you can leave and still get a full arc if you were. So would you like to stop the story at this point, or would you like to actually continue with the campaign?
First,
Oh, I would like to continue.
I'd love the campaign. Don't get me wrong.
Okay, great. No. I'm not suggesting you're not. I entirely understand why all of your characters are like, fuck this shit. But yeah, all that I'm saying is, if you think this would be a good thematic point to wrap up, I'm more than happy. But yeah, we can. If you'd rather see how deep the rabbit hole goes. I mean, I think Humphrey knows of a place that you could potentially carry on to, that story beats are about to emerge, and further suggest you should go to.
Yeah, I was gonna. Yeah, Morocco is definitely. It'll be. Yeah, I think at some point when Humphrey gains a little bit more like sanity and now his health points are back too. Like, I think he's the kind of guy that would over time, like, it would just bug him having not gone there.
Yeah.
Even though you just almost died.
See, I think he would. I think he would
get money for it.
I think he
Okay.
would go home first.
Yeah,
I think he would
okay.
go home, and he would spend like a month in Boston, and then like a month and a half later, he'd just like wake up
Oh.
one night and be like, "I need to buy a ticket to Morocco because I need to know what's going on over there."
You send us all the telegram.
Yeah,
and
I
it
send you guys
becomes
all
a
telegram.
new scenario.
Yeah,
Ooh,
Exactly.
And
Yep.
that could tie in well to what you and I were talking about before I was there. If it was that
with
amount of
the
timeline,
connection in
I could
Boston.
come back. Maybe I just burst into a shop. It's like, you gotta go, investigate.
Yeah.
Olivia hires a bodyguard.
And that would probably be much easier to also integrate Drake's new character in.
I was gonna say actually, yeah. If you
Oh.
I mean, we're not gonna do like in terms of physical time, we're not gonna do a cutoff, but we can do like a month or so skip.
Yeah, that's. Oh yeah. I didn't. mean- Yeah.
You've all
Absolutely.
been doing things in the meantime. That actually, yeah, I had planned a specific timeline, but no, that actually works fairly well. It doesn't actually change a terrible amount of events. It's just some interesting things may have occurred while you've been gone.
As it should be, I would argue.
As it should be, yes. That some events will carry on without you, some just. I will say it'll also be very interesting because a lot will actually happen to and involving Olivia while you're on the other side of the ocean, so that'll be fun.
Very
dear.
interesting.
Here I was
Yeah,
about
very
to say, I
interesting.
think Olivia goes and spends some time with her parents.
In that case, it actually doesn't. Terrific. So
There's
yeah.
also
I
the
don't
point
know
of
that
talking
she would
attachment.
stay in Paris with all this hoopla going on if
Yeah.
everyone else who knows about it is going back to the U.S.
Yeah. What were you saying, Baker? Sorry.
Sorry, I was have to speak with Tadsworth and receive our compensation and
Yeah, definitely.
all of our
Um,
weird items.
While you are in the hospital, does anyone actually read the Wild's copy of Le Roi Union?
Absolutely not.
Oh, okay. And you have it, and you are keeping hold of it. So unless Mortimer tries to steal it from you, I don't think there's anything anyone can do about it.
At this
Um,
point, I think we're
Yeah.
kind of in this together.
yeah. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So
The
yeah,
loss of his wedding ring was really the last. For right now, Humphrey needs to get home and sort of be back with his family for a little bit.
I mean, you do have it back now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was still. Yeah, I understand what you mean. Okay, so that makes this quite an interesting episode. Then I like it. So a few days pass. Your recovery is progressive and not entirely, without fault. After 2 days or so, Tadsworth arrives. He kind of turns up in a long overcoat and quite a somber expression, and sits down in between Mortimer and Klein, both your beds.
I imagine Olivia must be there. Too.
Yeah, I was gonna say I
Yeah.
think we'd make sure that Olivia is there as well.
All right, yeah, Olivia's here. Yeah. Heard heard Void's dead. Damn shame.
Yes, and he died getting your book, and so or the papers for you, and so I think it would be appropriate for you to cover some of his funeral expenses.
Of course, of course.
Well, I think after this we are all going to go our separate ways, and I'll sort of look at Olivia and then look at Mortimer.
After a quick chat, certainly. Mr. Tadsworth, this has been absolute nightmare. Brett coming over here. We did manage to find a number of unsettling things. Which is underneath my bed is yours. Be paid for it. I'm sure you, as a collector of all sorts of odd curiosities, would appreciate it.
What is this thing to which you refer?
I'm talking about the frickin' Yith head that we have still.
Oh,
Oh.
So I think we should bring things out one at a time. So I'll
Yeah.
I
say
forgot about the Yip head entirely. Oh my god.
Yeah. I'll say first I'll bring out the bag.
Okay. If you're referring to the Yith head, have you been checking on it daily, or like have you just shoved it under there?
I imagine I'd be checking on.
After about the first day, it has begun to like rapidly decompose to the point where it's just like a pile of slush.
Oh,
I thought the outside was like an exoskeleton type
Yeah,
thing.
that's what I
though.
was
The
imagining.
outside has mostly survived, but you note that it's kind of slightly latticed and folded in on itself.
All right. Well, what exoskeleton would survive the decomposition? I
Yeah.
assume that they give to him and probably not have the sludge with it.
Yeah.
Who's it on?
He nods appreciatively and puts it in the cleaned sack.
I'll also give him the bag. I'll say we found this bag. It seems to be able to conjure up stories. You can play with that later.
There's a hell of a lot more than that. I'll write you an instruction manual.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, and then
You're gonna
And then
give him the bag?
I mean,
let's
I
talk
don't
amongst
want it.
ourselves. What are we giving to Tadsworth here?
Definitely the
I'm sorry.
files. Definitely the king in yellow. And I say we give him the bag because I don't want the bag. I mean, if one of you two wants to take the bag, please be my
You want
guest. But I don't want it.
I could
I
take
mean, how
the
do we know what
bag.
he's gonna do with it?
We don't know what to do with any of this stuff. I just
Yeah,
don't
I
want it
mean,
no
if we're
more.
giving him one, we're giving him all. Yeah. Or no, I mean, or maybe not. If one of you guys wants to take the bag, like,
If
I
you
just don't want to take the bag. I don't want to
Bag.
take the bag, Boston. Okay. All right, we won't give him the bag then.
Magic Storybook Bag of Infinite Woe.
Yeah.
But we will, and then with a heavy sigh, I'll bring out the wild files or the king in yellow, and I'll say, I think this is what you're looking for.
He looks it over, nods accordingly. Yes. Good, good. Very nice. Miss Blythe, are you happening to be sticking around in the capital for a little while longer?
Well, I do have to wrap up my affairs here first, so I suppose.
Oh, are you heading off somewhere else after that?
Well, with these gentlemen, I believe planning on leaving. I don't know that I feel safe in this city anymore.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I'll be giving it some thought.
Oh, well, that actually works quite well. Would where you're heading back to be anywhere close to London?
Most likely.
I've got a particularly interesting play that I might be putting on that I might like you to audition for.
Give him a really, really, really wiggly eyebrow with that.
Yeah, I shoot daggers at Tadsworth also. Richard, what play?
I hear Broadway is fabulous, Olivia.
Oh, Broadway, yes, that could be good.
Oh, son of a bee sting.
Is Broadway a thing yet in the 20s?
I don't actually. That's a really good question. I have no idea.
But it's not
sure
big
it was. It's not big, no.
actually at this time.
Yeah, it's. I think it's kind of referred to as like the smutty place.
Oh, okay.
Oh, dear.
In the 20s, I think it's more of a red light district. It's not until like the
Yeah.
30s or 40s that it comes into.
Oh, it's like burlesque and whatnot.
It's
Yeah.
recently noted for putting on a thing called the Jazz Singer, which apparently is going to be like the next craze. Talking films. Good. Such nonsense. But yeah, you hand him over this
Well,
bevy of accoutrement.
what play?
Oh, well, this play, of course. He sort of pats the book. It's been put away for far too long. It's the stage call.
Humphrey, isn't this the same play you're talking about? Everyone who runs it dies or goes insane.
That's the superstition, but I mean, I don't think it.
Didn't we
that's-
walk
I mean,
through?
Macbeth.
Didn't you walk through another portal into another fucking dimension to get this thing?
Yes, I won't argue that. All I can say personally is that I haven't seen it.
Mr. Mortimer, Mr. Click, sorry. Might I provide a rebuttal to your argument?
I would love to hear what you would have to say, Mr. Tabler.
He hands you a check.
For how much?
£270,000.
That's like millions of dollars at this time.
Oh yeah. Oh no, yeah. I mean, we could figure it out, but yeah, it's a lot.
Actually,
It's at least 8 million.
Actually.
Oh yeah. I think
no,
you're right.
That's too much. I always forget the scale of money at this time. It's for about £90,000, which is still fairly considerable.
Because whatever dollars are, I think in other games I figured out it's about $1 at then is more like $15 now.
Yeah.
So multiply whatever your dollars are by 15. But
Okay.
I don't
yeah.
know the pound conversion
So,
at the time.
Yes. So it's he offers you like $70,000.
In current day, I thought this thing was worth like millions.
I think he means $70,000 in that day's
In that
money,
period. Yes.
which would be my
Which
calculator.
would be a little under $1 million today.
Oh damn.
So
Mm,
basically, he's offering us each $1 million. This is the easiest way to think of it. Yeah.
he looks at the check and he looks at Tadsworth. Doesn't take it yet though. He's just standing there.
Okay. He also hands a similarly laid out check to Humphrey. And one to you, Olivia.
See, it with everything that's gone on, Mortimer is it's on the one hand, this seems like the most terrible, horrible thing ever to about to go down, but at the same time, and his experience, the guy with the one who calls the shots, the guy with all the money.
Humphrey is tired and wants to go home. He's gonna take the check, but he's going to also insist that Void's funeral be paid in full before Tadsworth leaves.
He's fine with that being arranged. Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I imagine you'll want it put on soon if you're going to all attend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll make the arrangements.
Mortimer, the check.
Oh, and the theatrical business, especially in London, is particularly cutthroat. So I'd just like to get assurances from you all that you won't tell anyone about said private disclosure that I've just made to you.
I don't think
Okay.
we'd feel a need to tell anyone because I don't think anyone else would understand the gravity of what's happening. But
Yeah, that's a good
you have
point.
to realize that if at any point we realize that our lives are in danger, this waves check in the air
Mhm.
will mean nothing.
Well, I can't see a reason why you'd be in danger again. Should be fairly fine. And with that, yeah, he begins walking away and pats you on the shoulder and says, I'll get someone to give you an invitation to the audition, Miss Blythe."
I would not accept that invitation.
No, no, Tadsworth. Keep your goddamn money.
I would say come back to America with us and with the dog. It's like there's an ocean between us and this place.
Right?
And
Mortimer throws the check back in Tadsworth's face. People killed with that crap. I'm not going to sit idly by and let that happen. I've been doing this sort of shit for too long. I'm done with it. I ain't going to stand by and let people get killed. God knows what.
Yeah, he pockets the check. I wouldn't worry about any side effects. Mr. Click, Mr. Klein. I have insurance. And at that he turns and walks away.
Well, you're gonna need a job. I say to Mortimer, you can come work at the bookshop if you need.
I have a job.
Oh, no problem. Well, if you, yeah. I think what's best for us right now is if we focus on arranging Void's funeral and getting home.
I'm
I
gonna
think
go.
we should. Well, Olivia, you said you're going back to London, right?
Possibly. I'm definitely not, as I said, very comfortable staying here without some sort of support.
Yeah, well, yeah, so whatever we decide, I was just going to recommend that we try and all stay together for as long as possible. So I was going to say, Olivia, if
Right.
you're going to London, we'll definitely accompany you back to London rather than just taking a boat from here. We'll accompany you all the way back to London, make sure you're safe there, and then we'll go back to Boston from London.
I want to take out an ad in the paper first.
In here or in London?
And every stop we hit.
I think that's manageable. You can have. I think I can afford that out of my the money I was given. I think we can afford to get you some newspaper ads.
So, yeah, with that, a few more days of recovery pass by. What? Sorry?
I was gonna say, with of the essence, Mortimer wants to to all the newspapers
Okay.
and informing them that intends on running the play.
Oh, wow.
Okay. I mean, are you just doing this
The
generally
plot
or for
thickens.
or for
Right.
niche publication?
I couldn't hear that. Sorry,
Are
one more time.
you doing this generally or for niche publication?
Sorry.
I mean, are you just going to every newspaper and like putting an ad in that says in Paris that says
Whichever ones I
Turf
can do so.
Okay. After the first day of you doing that, you're kind of walking around the hospital, just, having some passable food in the cafe, when a man sits down opposite you. Mr. Click.
Yeah.
Me and some colleagues of mine saw your advertisement in the paper. Oh, wait, sorry, no. No, I have completely the wrong character. So a man enters. What's quite striking about him is that in what is a very white and pristinely European environment, he is very primally and uniquely African. He has a wide and swept back black ball head, kind of piercing brown eyes, but a very exquisitely tailored and fitted European style suit. And he's accompanied on the right-hand side by a very muscular female bodyguard who sits down beside him as he sits down opposite you and says, "Mr. Click."
Hello.
I have seen your advertisement in the paper. He speaks with a kind of lightly clipped English accent.
Mortimer likely wouldn't have attached his name to the advertisement, but if he knows, that's still
Oh,
fine.
would he have not? Okay,
Well,
what would you have
Probably wouldn't want to draw that much attention to himself, personally.
said? Okay. Oh, in that case, this meeting doesn't even happen. Ignore that this person exists.
Okay, it would have been an anonymous tip.
Okay. Sorry, I should have specified what you actually would have put in the advert ahead of time. That would have saved us all this trouble.
You can have this person still show up if he found out.
Okay, what I'm going to say is the day after you submit the advert, you are reading one of the papers that you put the advert in, and you see a follow-up ad that is a response to your ad, seemingly. That in exactly the same column, exactly the same paper, that says this this play is of troubling interest. May I speak to you at the may I speak to you on the Irish Corner? Sorry, not the Irish Corner. May I speak to you on the Avenue de Bel Air? You know the Avenue de Bel Air to be a one interjecting the Avenue de Saint Martin.
I meant to Olivia and say, well, it looks like at least somebody's seen this.
I was gonna say Humphrey wants to go as soon as possible.
Maybe like tomorrow or the next day.
Well, yeah, well, we gotta take the train back to, or get back to London first, or just leave straight from Paris.
I will say on the same day that you find out this application, it is Void's funeral.
Oh, I'm wearing my snazzy funeral outfit again. Damn it!
Your ridiculously attractive funeral outfit, yes, entirely inappropriate. Yeah, you. It's a subtle, restrained affair. It's I mean, no expense has been spared, but at the same time, he wasn't. You know, it's not a state funeral or anything. He wasn't a man of particular renown, so there are limits. As the coffin is lowered, Mayhem kind of scratches against the side of the ground next to it and curls up and tries to. Mayhem has seemed very confused over the past few days, but when he actually sees the body of his master being like put into the coffin and lowered into the ground, you're just not even really sure what he's doing at the moment. He's kind of pacing about, and he seems familiar with the three of you, so he's staying near to you.
Well, I'm going to pat him and say, "I know how you feel, you poor thing."
He nuzzles against you and licks your hand. But yeah, the funeral is conducted. The tombstone set in English reads, "Here lies Joseph Void, warrior, soldier of the such and such, and beloved friend." And yes, you yeah, with that, you the next day. Oh, sorry, it did also suggest like we should meet under the full moon at the Avenue de Bel Air.
Full moon? Oh dear.
All right.
Sorry, not full moon, half moon. Half moon is less dramatic. We should meet under the half moon at the Avenue de Bel Air, and the half moon is tomorrow.
Would look like that advert's got a few eyes. As to say, I appreciate your help, Humphrey, but I wouldn't want any of this to blow back on you too.
Okay. So, Mortimer, do you go and meet with said person at this time?
I would ask them, Olivia and Humphrey, to come for me, if that'd be all right.
Yeah, I'll come. I can come. I feel like we should just all go.
Didn't Humphrey and Olivia actually not give the check back though?
Oh
Yeah,
I didn't. Yeah,
it's
I didn't
still-
get the check back.
Oh yeah, your credit rating has still gone way the fuck up. Or not credit rating, sorry, because that's like consistent income. But your assets have gone up considerably.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it's worth it definitely to find out what well, I mean, we have no way of knowing who is who's put this ad. It could actually be Tadworth or another agent of Tadworth for all we know.
Do you think we should even meet them then? To pass
Well, in the
Tad,
event that it's not Tadworth and it's someone who wants to stop him, I think that would be worth listening to. Perhaps you're right that we should at least be somewhere where we can watch what's happening, I guess.
I don't want Nigel
Yeah.
or someone putting a bomb underneath my chair.
Right.
Yeah, maybe we could keep an eye out from a distance.
We'll
We
see
definitely
who,
don't want to
who
lose
shows
anyone
up.
else.
Hmm. So
Yeah, and then yeah, maybe we three could keep an eye from a distance, see who shows up, and then we could hang back. Mortimer, you could go if it seems safe, and then talk to them.
Okay.
All right, let's do
So
it.
yeah. So as you head round there, as the moon is at its highest, there's a direct minimum of traffic, even in what is a very busy part of the 13th come 20th. You you see a very quietly lit environment. There's a kind of mini. There seems to be quite a few Chinese families down towards the south end of the street. So you kind of pass by the distinct playing of Oriental instruments and the smell of unique spices as you pass down at the bottom. And yeah, if you're looking out for particular individuals, why don't you give me a spot hidden roll? I'll say you have a +10. Oh,
Damn.
damn. You see, as I have described, a uniquely African gentleman standing with his, again, uniquely African bodyguard, underneath a large central tree in the middle of the kind of mini roundabout that marks the middle of the street. And he is, yeah, he is kind of looking intermittently at his watch. You also know that he walks with a cane that seems to have a curved, almost shillelagh-like kind of curved top, made out of like a hard wood.
Mortimer looks him over. Olivia and Humphrey say, "Look like someone Tadswick might know."
All right. Yeah. If you feel safe, I'll cover you. I have a Humphrey will get out his pistol and ready it and sort of keep it hidden under his arm, but point it at him.
Okay. All right.
Do you shoot, Miss Blythe?
Do I what? I'm sorry?
Shoot. Back in college, but I from under my coat. Would you be able to hold this?
As well as I can hold a pistol, which isn't very well, but I can try.
His own revolver, puts it in his pocket, checks his,
All right.
and goes over.
Yeah. Yeah, as you walk over, he kind of removes his hat and puts it against his chest. You Are you the advertiser in the paper?
And who are you?
My name is Diama. This is my acquaintance, Pukane. We represent a practice, I suppose you could call it. We seek to prevent the rising of forces that should not belong in this world. We have others in the city, and they are directly interested in this. We know of we know of Le Roi, let's just say.
What is the name of this house?
He kind of looks to her, and she then nods. We are the Sorry, oh god, I've forgotten my notes. We are
The Linus or the Archdoom?
No. He does actually talk kind of slowly anyway. We are the desert's path. We are a united group of many different tribes. Those that have seen the Black Mother and the Yellow Father give rise to much pain and misery.
Alright.
We believe that this Tadsworth you speak of, he means to contact the Yellow Father. We cannot allow this.
Alright. What do you suppose?
When you have questions, but you're not there. Ah!
I mean, you are there. You're slightly behind him. He does look over your shoulder and say, "Friends of yours?"
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we were staying obscure, but okay.
Obscure, yeah.
Oh, there was. I mean, give me stealth rolls then.
All right, me.
Yeah, Humphrey, you're just standing openly, and you think the darkness will obscure you.
Oh, poor Humphrey.
The same
Oh, I'm
applies to
doing
you.
worse.
Right next to him.
Yeah. He looks over your shoulder. Friends of yours?
Mortimer turns around and sees them clearly at stay.
They can come closer if they wish.
And give them a nod if they want to come closer.
All right. I guess since I've been spotted anyway, there's no sense in being weird. So I'll walk closer.
Yeah.
What was it? Now I can't remember what the question was that I had. What was it he had said? He said
Sorry,
that
no,
he
they're-
wants to
they're not-
contact the
they're-
Yellow Father.
they're-
We can't let him do that.
They're not called the Desert's Path. They're called the Path of Kong. I will let anyone give me a history check to realize what this is a reference to.
I'm sorry,
I don't
what
have
check?
much in
Sorry, again.
history.
A history check.
History?
Yeah.
I fell asleep during history class.
Oh, I have a whole 6.
Damn it, Humphrey. Damn it.
I know.
Oh,
I'm
well,
the one
actually,
person.
no. I've just realised it's not actually that history related. So if you want, you can give me like a general education roll as a push,
Okay.
which is
Education.
1 point better than your history, I think. Oh,
Oh.
the mountains of Kong, you remember as like a random trivia fact, were a non-existent mountain range that were charted in Africa. And they were basically put there to prevent people from exploring further into Africa by the British, by a man named John Carey. He just drew a map with this mountain range and everyone just thought like, oh yeah, there's nothing beyond there. It's fine. We won't conquer any further down there. They didn't exist at all. And there were whole trade trips that were diverted because they thought, oh, we're just going to run into the mountains of Kong. So yeah, it's I mean, now you've learned that they're occult based. It's quite a you get that it's like a little jibe at Western superstitions, and that that they're an African group that operates in things that might not exist.
Yeah.
Yeah. I knew it was a reference of some kind. I knew I
Yeah,
hadn't
right.
been that lazy. Yeah, so they are the path of Kong. And no, the film nor the book King Kong have not been written at this point. So yeah, you you close in. He offers his hand.
Whatever takes it, shakes.
Dharma, and he gestures to his acquaintance. And this is Niani. Niani kind of shakes your hand, and he give me a psychology roll, Olivia.
All right. Aww.
Yeah, you have no idea. He nods his head. Mademoiselle Blythe, I am pleased to see you are doing well. The papers have not been full of kind stories about you recently.
Oh dear. Have I read any of these unkind stories?
You have read stories about actress running flushed-faced through the streets, like rumors of Olivia Blythe having illicit affair with criminal elements in 13th arrondissement.
Oh dear.
Yeah, there's been all sorts of salacious gossip.
Otherwise, I've not been nice to you.
Well, in that case, I guess I would have had to tell the people that do know me some, fluffy story about how I was almost mugged one evening or whatever.
Yeah, they'll believe it. Unfortunately, the journalists will not because they're journalists.
Celebrities and tabloids.
Yeah,
It's a tale as old as time.
Tale as old as time. He nods and says, I'm not surprised then that you were involved in this occurrence.
Well, I only became involved because there were actresses being abducted, and I have reason to believe that one such attempt was made on me.
He nods. An unfortunate case of Impundulu. We have tried to combat it where we are, but our resources are limited in this environment. As I'm sure you can understand, the presence of an African organization depends on politeness towards Africans being assumed, which is not guaranteed in European cities.
Sadly true. You said that Tadsworth is trying to contact the Yellow Father. What makes you think that?
Humphrey, with your extreme African history check earlier, you know the Impundulu to be a form of African vampire that takes the form of a large taloned bird.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, what were you saying, Olivia?
Oh, I said to him that you mentioned that Tadsworth is trying to contact the Yellow Father. How do you know this?
We know of the legend of the king. It has been performed in Africa before. Versions of it that were not transcribed. There is a philosophical concept, well, more sociological, referred to as I forget the English. But in effect, it is the means of various cultures to produce almost identical works of art at similar times around the globe. Before the time of our discovery, our ancestors were enacting similar plays. They have led only to danger and to ruin. The more ground we give the Yellow King to walk on this earth, the more he will corrupt it to his own image. And
Who or what is he exactly?
you see him kind of take his small little pince-nez off his nose and clean them. I cannot say. I do not know. I have seen his servants and fought them. And my brother gave his life to combat one of them. They are dangerous creatures. And I can assume he is more so.
I'm sorry to hear that. We have also lost someone fairly close to us through all this.
He nods.
How do you intend to stop Mr. Tadsworth?
And where do we come into it?
Well, I wanted to touch base.
Guys
with you.
getting right to the point.
Well, we wanted to, as you Americans claim or state, there's a baseball reference, I believe, to touch base about the about the facts of what you have uncovered. How did he gain this copy of Le Roi? And how are you privy of this knowledge?
I look at the other two guys slightly uncomfortably.
It was part of a large occult book transaction.
We weren't aware of the implications.
I'm trying to determine whether that would be you technically lying or just hiding aspects of the truth.
Probably the latter.
True. Give me a persuade roll, and I'll let you have a
Well,
plus 10.
at one point it was true that we weren't aware of the implications, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
And okay, is that for both of us or just
That's
for
Humphrey.
Mortimer? Humphrey. Oh, for Humphrey. Okay.
Plus 10. Oh, not that you need it.
Didn't even need it.
He nods.
ooh, check that off.
All right.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Thank you.
And during this transaction, he told you openly that you would use it for such.
Yes.
Yes.
And encouraged Miss here to perform in it.
He looks towards you. Miss Blythe, I would. This, of course, is entirely of your own discretion. But if you were to audition, I'm sure you could. I'm sure you would be accepted, and your presence inside the environment would be greatly dangerous, but would be of great benefit to our operation. I'm merely extending the offer.
Right, I was very hesitant to look into it because I am worried about the dangers, but I suppose if you think that he needs to be stopped and there's a way to do it by doing so.
I believe that can be the case. Also, do not worry. We know our own versions of Le Roi, but we know the European versions as well. There is cause for black actors on several occasions, and there will be few places they can turn in London but our thespian acquaintances. You will have friends inside, is what I'm saying.
Right. That would be much more reassuring.
Of course.
See if you can find some personal protection for yourself, Olivia, as well.
I agree with you. I think if I do have the means to be doing so, which I suppose I do, that would be a good option for me. We did. This is out of character. We are just meeting this guy, in the middle of the night under the half moon or whatever.
Yeah.
And then making plots. So I don't know. I guess I want to. I guess she would be. Does this guy seem legitimate in where this organization trying to stop the spoops, or
Stop.
is there a way to do a psychology
Can we
roll
check
to
the
see
difference?
There is direct.
how
there is-
genuine he
Give
seemed?
me a psychology roll to determine sufficient spoopiness.
Ah, dear.
He's perfectly trustworthy. Yeah. Yeah.
Humphrey, do it.
I'm trying. I was finding it. Oh, come on. Ugh.
Oh no.
So close.
So spoopy. Yeah, none of you have an idea, I'm afraid.
All right. Well, at least we can go glumphing happily, naively into the plot then.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, he nods accordingly. It will not be easy, but you will certainly be doing something of great service to not only my continent, but yours as well.
We can contact you.
Well,
Yeah, he reaches into his coat. Business card and hands it to him.
he hands it to Yanawa, who pockets it. I cannot read American.
Humphrey will also give him his card and say, "Well, when you get somebody to translate, you can find me here."
He does a similar thing to yours. But yeah, he nods and says, I am aware that this is an intensely untrustworthy situation. You are meeting me, a perfect stranger, under the moonlight. I have a bodyguard. You have barely concealed firearms underneath your coats. This is
I don't know what you're talking about.
Of course. This is in truth a tense situation. Let me just say that, and I know you will wish to flee as soon as possible. Should you ever wish to for further evidence, our headquarters are located at an address in Tangier. If you should you desire to meet with me there.
At this point, Humphrey screams, "I knew it!"
Fucking Morocco. Our headquarters are located at this location in Tangier.
Told you guys.
Not sorry. He doesn't give you the location of the headquarters. He says go to this bar and give the bartender the code word. Our Lady of Shifting Vigilance. More of a code phrase, but yeah. But he says code word because his English is very well accented, but not like perfect.
Fair
All
enough.
right. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You take that, you memorize it. It's all in there. And yeah, at that point he nods and says, "Well, I believe our operatives will be seeing more of Miss Blythe in future. Are you gentlemen returning to America?"
Probably for a short time,
For duration, yeah.
but I imagine we will be back soon. I already have a feeling.
Where might you be located in America?
I gave you a card. Yeah, it would be
yeah,
Boston,
but
Massachusetts.
yeah.
He looks towards Yolunwe, who looks at your cards and nods.
Name
And
keeps
you-
changing every time we reference her.
Jagdava.
Sorry, continue. Don't mind me.
No, I just feel bad now. So yeah, she's Yolunwe. I can remember Yolunwe. So yeah, she nods and he turns back around and says, "Boston, a place of great upheaval and disdain for tea, I believe."
Huh. I
Yes,
find this
we are known for
amusing because I am English.
Yes.
Certainly, whiskey is the drink of choice.
Yes. Well, should you ever wish for aid in whatever might ail you in the near region, please seek out. I think his name is. Oh yes, his name is Langston Marksdale. He is. By the way, Mortimer, make me a int roll. Oh, Langston Marksdale sounds familiar, but you can't place it.
What was it that we just said about him?
He said that should you ever run into trouble in Boston, should you need someone of like his connection to talk to, visit Langston Marksdale. And he identifies him as the owner of a music shop, which I will, after he says the owner of a music shop, I will allow actually both you and Humphrey to make me an int roll. Although Humphrey's will have to be a hard because he's not directly connected.
Ah,
Yeah. Mortimer, do you want to make me an? Oh, so close, so close. Unless you want to spend the luck, but perhaps you don't. So yeah, you
Hold on to my luck.
yeah, that's fair. You yeah, with that he kind of brings the conversation to a close with well, are there any further questions?
So, we're intending to into this plague from within.
Well, I believe me and Miss Blythe have some conversation to enact concerning that matter.
Good. Someone was listening.
We I am glad that you do not take this in an incorrect manner, but your countrymen, when involved in such matters, have often folded under money. It is of great commendation to your people that you are made of better moral fiber.
If you had, I was in the same situation a week ago, it would have ended differently.
Of course, time changes. Mountains vanish from the map. The river flows, and then it is dry. He at that point he turns. He actually takes out a sheathed, like short sword from under his jacket and hands it towards you. A symbol of faith.
jeez.
A symbol of faith and union. And a reward in the absence of gold.
What's this? Did you describe the sword?
Yeah, it's oh, sorry, it's not a sword. It's actually a short spear. It's basically like it's roughly the size of your average short sword, but it's a spear, but just it's like someone has lopped the back half off of a traditional spear, but it's been
Sure.
designed that way. So the back end is curved. There's like a red tassel wrapped around the middle, and leather stitching in the middle that's kind of bound and held in such a way as to provide a grippable point. I will let anyone. I will let Mortimer or Humphrey make me a history check.
Okay.
Any reason why Mortimer would get a check?
Oh yeah, sorry. That includes you, Mortimer.
No, I was wondering why it was that I would make it.
Oh,
I
all right.
mean-
Olivia can make one as well. Then sorry, I'm
okay,
just being I'm just being hideously sexist.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Well, I'm saying like Mortimer
no,
doesn't
no.
know anything about
No,
history.
no,
so-
no. All right, but you there. Oh,
Nor do
sorry.
I.
Nor do I. It's fine. Humphrey, this is an Ilqua. It is commonly known as the Zulu thrusting spear, and yeah, it was basically one of the tactical innovations that allowed the Zulus martial tactics to develop, and it's commonly utilized as a symbol of like intertribal union and peace, to give one to another.
Yeah, I'll just sort of lean over to Mortimer and I'll say that was a very nice thing for him to do.
Oh, thank you very much for the spear.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
It's short enough, given the sheath, for you to like put it under your coat and walk relatively normally, as normally as you would with a shotgun under there.
Thank you very much, Mr. Diamo. In touch again soon.
Of course. Yeah, he puts his hat back on, kind of tips the brim, and yeah, turns, puts his arm in his bodyguard's, and they both walk away. Him kind of limping on his cane on the right hand side. It is quite dim. I will allow you to make a spot hidden check if anyone's that interested in this man.
I'm sorry, you said spot hidden?
Yeah, I will allow people to make spot hidden should they be interested. Oh, Humphrey got the role that was needed. This man has a wooden foot. You're not entirely sure where it came from, but yeah, you see
Oh.
the telltale signs of oak stain underneath his trousers where there is no sock.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he kind of limps away, leaning on that and his stick in equal measure. And yeah, they both walk away into the night, leaving you standing there.
Well,
it's midnight in Paris. It's bitterly cold.
yeah, I will say that Humphrey will probably get back inside and then over the next few days make the preparations he needs to make to go home for a little bit, but sort of all the while knowing that he'll probably see these people again quite soon.
Okay.
He can feel that he's not out of it quite yet.
Yeah. I can tell that Mortimer's thinking of doing something similar.
Yeah, Mortimer would probably book the same shipping so that they can go to over to America. But first, checking in with Claude. What's his name? Frank.
Yeah.
Returning.
Yeah. Claude looks up at you suspiciously as you walk in, and he nods towards you. You have not heard then?
Heard what?
The latest news from America. He takes out a copy of the local like American exports periodical, expats periodical, and tosses it over the table. And he has highlighted in red pen a small little side article that says Boston Massacre, 19 killed in gang raid.
Listen, I've been reading a lot of newspapers recently.
You weren't reading the American Expats periodical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something
What?
something the matter?
Are you there with him? Have you like come to his criminal wine hideout?
Probably didn't
Oh,
come
no,
to my
sorry.
criminal
Just
wine
like directly
hideout.
behind him? Yeah. Hey, where are you going? He nods. The man, Claude, kind of sagely nods. Frank is dead.
What happened?
He was called back. He is dead.
When was this? How did you find that out?
Oh wait, not Frank. I meant he kind of clicks. Oh, your boss's name. Who? The big guy. Cheeks. He kind of does
Yeah.
a mocking impression of the mob boss
Yeah,
back in
yeah. I
dead.
by whom? Greens?
The new boy, I believe he is. The one Simon. Yes.
Through the paper to see if you could try to find a name or
You don't
leads or
find
anything.
you don't find a name there, but he after a while he produces the surname Markford, Simon Markford. Simon Markford is this before. He is a man you arrested. You threw the trial for, if you remember.
Yeah.
And yeah, he has been coordinating a revolution from within his prison, and
That's
it seems
supposed
he's
to be out for another 5 years at least.
Well, law enforcement in Boston is a joke. You know this. They turn a blind eye. He runs them a favor. The mob and the police cooperate. One lays down for the other turns a blind eye.
Lord, I'm going to need wherever the strong spot is you have. Probably will need to run a few more errands before I return home, so if you can't send anything.
I am under no obligation to send anything. I've had no letters from this Mr. Markford. As far as I'm concerned, he does not employ me. And I mean, I haven't had any news back. They might not even know about you.
Let's
Yeah,
keep it that way then.
yeah. He brings up a bottle. Wine?
What you have?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I see. He pours wine for himself, then gets out some port for you. And merci beaucoup.
Yeah, merci.
To a new life.
Glass and looks into it for a while and then cut away too.
Cut away to nobody because they're both gone. I think they're both BRBing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So no, cut back immediately. Just cut back to you getting more and more drunk. Seconds. Yeah. I mean, if you like, you can talk to the ghost of Void. He can haunt you. Actually, that would be pretty fun. Drake, are you there?
Yep. Can you hear
Yeah.
me?
Give me a power roll, Mortimer.
To manifest.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Give me a power roll or experience manifest void. Oh, you don't.
I'm sitting. Oh, jeez. Sitting in my room one evening.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The GM takes over because that's what he does.
Yep. So, Humphrey, are you up to anything before you depart back?
Securing passage from Mayhem, but other than that, no.
Are you like taking him in as for your son? Have you decided?
Yeah, I'm gonna. I thought. Yeah, I'll bring him to my son and let my son
Okay.
take care of him.
Okay.
So he'll have some sort of stable home.
In that case, yeah, you that's fairly easy to arrange. You bring in that case, yeah, I think we can cut to like yeah, you are you and Mortimer on the same ferry or like ship back to America?
Well, yeah, that was what I was gonna ask. If we were gonna go back to London, or can we leave from like Brest or Calais or any of those places?
You can. There are Paris-Brest is a D get back.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I guess that would probably be easier than also charting a ferry to London or
Yeah.
trying to go somewhere.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I think we would take the same ship back. Yeah.
Okay. Sure. I don't think Gab is back, and now Baker's. Everyone is leaving.
We kind of left at the same time.
I'm getting drunk. Yeah. So you yeah, I mean, there's nothing really else to handle in Paris. So I think at that point we can cut to yeah, it would. I think it'd be interesting to see what happens when you get back. So, yeah, you. What do you imagine Humphrey's shop might look like? Where do you think it would be positioned?
I think it's a sort of normal-looking shop in a medium part business district. I think it's a little dingy in his shop. Like it's a lot of like high shelves with books on them.
Okay.
And with
Sure.
sort of a private area in the back where he keeps the more expensive stuff.
Yeah, that's all right. You
Back in Boston again.
sorry, yeah, you had left, so I panicked. You no, so yeah, I mean nothing really occurs on the ferry ride back to Boston, but we can at least yeah. So we were just discussing. I think you and Humphrey were getting the same ferry back to Boston.
Well, I thought, yeah, probably, but wouldn't we have all charted first to go with
Olivia?
to London first?
I think she was staying for the King in London. Oh no, yeah. I guess we would have gone back to London first.
Yeah.
So now, with this recent development happening, before he gets back to Boston, I'm considering whether or not Mortimer would even go back.
Yeah. A significant event has happened in Mortimer's life. I don't know. Yeah, no, he wouldn't tell anyone about it. It's actually thematically appropriate that none of you were around to witness him discovering it.
So do we want to do the ghost of?
No, the Ghost of Void was just like if any of you had gotten shit-faced enough to warrant being haunted.
Well, that would certainly be Mortimer at this time.
Yeah, true. So I mean that, but you got an extreme on your power roll. I'm gonna have to ask for one for Humphrey, given that he was in the car. So just at some point, just give me a power roll. Probably while you would. This will be in a dream, actually. Yeah, I will. Actually, what was Void's power? Void's power was pretty good, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was pretty high. Let me get to it.
Yeah, 85. So I'm. That's 87. So I've just failed on your
What if he?
stupidly high power.
now that you're back, yeah, if you want to roll power to see whether or not the ghost of void comes to you, the void show up and just not lose any sanity for it.
Yeah, true. In that case, yeah, Humphrey, one night while you're sleeping, the ghost of void appears, manifesting in a dream.
Well, is he aware it's a dream?
No, that's actually very true. So yeah, you just become aware that you're in a car. There's blood splattered all over the seats and the backs of the front seats, and Void is sitting next to you.
Where are you
Boy,
going?
this doesn't look good. I was. You know, I mean, I was thinking I could sell some of these books that I got, and then keep in contact with Olivia, keep in contact with Mortimer, and then after a while, you know, if they need me, I come back. You think I should stay, huh?
I don't know. What should you do?
Never has the deep voice synthesizer been more appropriate.
Only up to now, yeah.
Humphrey, I come to you from the beyond.
Repent your ways.
I think.
I am the ghost
mean-
of Cardiff past.
People are probably gonna get hurt. Okay. All right. You might be right. You might be right. If it was coming to Boston, I wouldn't want somebody to give him back the money though. Just so you know. And
Did you say you're giving back the money? You cut out there for a moment.
I said I'm not
Jesus,
giving back the
not.
money.
Okay.
I'm not giving back. I just hope you know that much. I'm not giving back the money. I'll stay, but I'm not giving back the money.
Yeah.
If that makes
Yeah.
you happy.
Would Ghost Void have anything to say?
I would have kept the items.
Well, we kept the
did
bag.
keep the bag, right?
We kept the bag.
I'm giving that bag
I got the bag.
That was probably a good decision to keep the bag.
You can do great things with that bag. You can create life with that bag.
All right. More thinking about what would have happened if it had come to Boston, or if it does go to Boston, is more what I'm thinking about. But you're right, bag's a powerful weapon, and hey, since you're well, I don't know, yeah, okay, all right.
It's not a weapon. You don't have to treat it as a weapon. You can do great things.
Could be a weapon if it was in the wrong hands.
Yes, it could be. But are you going to use it as a weapon?
Yeah.
You don't have to.
Not me personally. I'm saying we need to treat it like one, since it could be one. Do
You're
you
a book writer, or you work with books. I'm sure
dealer?
you can think of a few good stories. You can probably make up a few good stories.
Void. All right. We'll come up. We'll figure something out.
I mean, you missed the opportunity to, at any point, just end with "woo." But yes,
Well, I'm
the
curious.
dream is.
Is there
Yeah.
is there anything about his wife that I could tell him?
I Ah. Oh.
Make something up. Oh, ghost
I-
of void.
I mean, that would imply you had met her in the what we are assuming to be some form of afterlife.
Yeah.
Uh, uh, Give me a luck roll.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, indeed. I can't think of a better thing to do,
Okay.
and yet a worse thing. Being fair, I'm gonna say let's have this on like your original luck rather than the luck you have now.
Oh, all right. So I will.
Void's
Oh,
so
gee.
Void's original
I
luck
think it
was
was 50 exactly.
yeah, it was exactly 50. Yeah, so just roll, see if you get 50 or below.
Oh no.
Oh my Christ. No, you haven't met her. You have no, you can make something up, but yeah, you haven't.
No, that's kind of cruel.
That's bad
Hey,
karma.
yeah. Hey, your wife's like fine, but she's actually not even dead. Like I don't know. I couldn't
She
find
likes
that.
me, by the way. We're having a good time.
We're having like loads of heaven sex, which is different from normal
That's
sex.
terrible.
And way better. Yeah.
But she just
Oh,
had
man.
to get away from me. She just can't stop talking about it.
Oh.
Whenever Humphrey does wake up, he will have had a change of heart and descend, and he'll contact Mortimer and Olivia from the. He will do two things. He'll put Mayhem on the ship for his son to pick up, and then he'll also.
Okay, so what you've done there is you've put a dog on a ship without anyone you know to watch him.
Oh, I thought
All talk
you could
together.
like. I thought we could like. I thought they would do like what they do on planes and put him in like the luggage part of the ship, and then you just like my son could pick him up. I don't know. We'll figure.
Sure. You know what? For expediency's purpose, yes.
But I was also thinking. I think he would want to see if he could contact Alistair. I have quite a few books that he would be interested in buying that
Okay.
I could probably use to get rid of.
Yeah, at this point in time, his offices are quite well known. Yeah, they are. They are. You know, if you go to London, this is, which I assume you do. Then yeah, you can find them with a relative degree of ease. And you do have to make an appointment and come back on another day. But
Yeah, that's okay because I need to go through my notes and make a list of which ones I want to sell and which ones I want to keep. So
okay.
that's okay. Yeah.
I mean, we can deal with that in another session then. If you
Yeah. I was just So maybe next session. I contacted in this session, made the appointment.
Yeah. So yeah, you do that. So yes, you conclude that business. Yeah, Mortimer. I mean, the original plan was for you all to head back to America, but that now seems to have changed a bit.
So let's have a group conversation. We're on the ferry or something then to
Yeah.
London.
Yeah.
Mortimer is probably drinking very heavily at this point. The near the rail of this steam ferry, like he was when he first came in. Yeah, over the channel. I assume one of you two or both of you guys come up.
Yeah. If I see you at there, I'll come up and say. So I guess we're all going to London together. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're still headed back to Boston.
I don't know. I had a pretty bad dream. Yeah, I had a pretty bad dream, and it was about Void. Made me think about what if what if the play is a success over here? You know, success is in quotes, success for fucking Tadsworth, and then he brings it to Boston. I was thinking, well, that wouldn't be what I wanted. That could be pretty bad. So, you know, yeah, I guess you could say I'm sticking around. I'm gonna
What about
gotta see if we can't do something to stop this.
yeah, no, actually, something just came up, and I decided to exploring, but maybe a little around a little bit, maybe help keep an eye on. Yeah, I have some thing I could visit, get acquainted with. You know, mayhem. What about those books you were meaning to sell?
Well, I'm gonna be able to sell them to a guy in London. I just made an appointment, and Mayhem, I'm gonna find a way to get him to my son. Hopefully, maybe we could pay someone to take him on a ship or something like that. But I think my son would like to have him. So if I can just get him over to Boston, my son can.
Well, if you would need to organize your shop, and if you do decide to go Boston, sure who else to trust right now, except for I was hoping to get back to Arkham. It's a smaller town, a little further away.
Oh yeah, I've been to Arkham.
Yeah, I have some send over there to my mother.
Well, you know what? Actually, if you have a letter to send and we've got to take Mayhem, maybe I could go over. Maybe I'll go back with you guys to London, sell my books, but then I could also, there was that guy Langston Marksdale who's in Boston, who our friend said he could contact. So maybe I could go over, drop your letter off, talk to Langston Marksdale, and then.
As quick as you could.
It's good.
I'm sorry, go
Humphrey Klein to talk to Langston Marksdale.
What was that? Could you repeat that? Sorry.
Sorry, say that one more time.
I was just making fun of the fact that you were saying his full name. It's fine.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. Sorry. I get.
so
We
we
can
don't
talk to Mr. Marksdale.
Langston Marksdale.
All right.
I would come with you, but I can't.
All right. No, that's all right. So we'll all go back to London together, and then I'll go back to Boston for say a week, and then I'll come back.
Thank you then. I just need to finish writing it, and I'll hand it to you once you get on.
Okay, we can do that.
Thank you.
Okay. So, yeah, at that point, everyone's back in London. I mean, is there anything else people might want to wrap up at this point?
How do you want to send it off for next session? Put it where we wave Humphrey goodbye, to put it where something happens as we pull into London.
Yeah, sure. I mean, yeah, I would genuinely say, I mean, we can arrange what books Humphrey has sold to Crowley and for what price at a later point.
Yeah, and maybe just have him as sort of a. Now we have him as sort of a contact,
I mean,
a cult contact.
Potentially, depending on how things go.
Yeah.
He could get annoyed at you or something.
Also true.
Also very true. So yeah, you if you're staying in England, then you yeah, we see the ship pulling away and Humphrey waving a solemn goodbye from the prow.
And the two of us, I suppose, wave back, and
With your letter and mayhem by my side.
Yeah. Yeah. So with that, it's just yeah, nothing really happens on the ferry. I'm afraid it's the crossing as you know it from before, Humphrey, basically.
sails off into the sunset.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, and he would definitely take that cruise to just recuperate.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be happy to say that when we come back after everyone's basically spent a month doing unrelated things, I'd be happy if everyone's like sanity and luck to return to full again.
Whew,
good to me.
hallelujah.
So,
Right.
yeah. Apart from Olivia, yeah. Sorry, I almost forgot about that.
Oh.
So, well, I'm sorry. Oh, there's a dog here.
But man,
So,
Nah.
yeah, that's you on the cruise with Mayhem. He's like, what's going on? Why is a boat? That's how he sounds in your mind. Anyway, yeah. With that, it's just Mortimer and Olivia on the docks.
Yay.
Okay. I mean, I assumed you'd want to wrap up something, but if not, then yeah.
is this something you want to wrap up, or should we just leave it with Humphrey sailing into the sunset?
I think Humphrey can just sail into the sunset.
Yeah. All right.